What the heck? It's cutting off. Ah! Anyway, hello. How are you?
Hello. Great. How are you?
Oh, such a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, I love coming on. Thanks for having me. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It has been
Yeah.
a while, but thank you so much. Um, so that's why I wanted to have you on because you are very busy. You and Patty are both very busy. ParaVizionz is awesome.
Thank
So
you.
I want to start out for everybody watching that doesn't know who Lee is. Lee and Patty are very special to me because when I was an enthusiast, still not even really into this, not a part of a group or anything like that, I attended a phenomenology in Gettysburg, PA, and I was by myself. I went by myself for the weekend. Nobody else, everybody else was like, "You're crazy. I'm not going ghost nothing," you know? And I was like, "Well, I'm curious." So, anyways, phenomenology was holding these investigations. After the event at the Eisenhower, there was places in town where they were having ghost hunts. So I remember they had like the Eisenhower house that was on the property of the convention, but they also had some of them in town. They had Farnsworth at one point. So anyways, I'm making a very short story long. I signed up for to investigate at Lee's headquarters. And what's there now, if anybody knows Gettysburg and goes to Gettysburg often, Lee's headquarters used to be a hotel. So there were a whole bunch of buildings. It wasn't just his headquarters. And Lee's team was there. And they were the ones that I did my very first real paranormal investigation with. And I owe my passion to you guys, like how I got it, because you guys were so awesome. The way you did everything, the way you handled it. We had experiences. I mean, we heard stuff. There were knocks. We heard whispering. We were talking. Like we got a lot of stuff that night.
It was an interesting night for sure.
It was so cool. And
who did we scare? We scared somebody.
You're right. I was going to ask you, was it Ben Hansen that came in, or what? Yeah. It was Ben Hansen. Okay. Yeah. I remember. So Ben Hansen came to hang out with us because they had at the time, they like they do now, they do like the celebrities, they'll show up to the to the ghost hunts, surprise everybody. Well, he was one of them. And it's crazy because being with you guys made me feel a part of the team, even though you guys didn't know me. Originally Patty is from Jersey, right?
Yep, she sure is.
So Patty is a Jersey girl. So there was a connection we had there. And I stayed with them all night long. It was great. We had such a fun time. So from that, there became me. Like, I'm sure if I had a shitty time that night, I would have decided to not be into because at that point I was still curious. I hadn't jumped in yet. I was like, I want to see what this is about, and that night changed everything for me. Well, so I'm going to start that out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because we did have really good activity at Lee's headquarters that night.
We did.
And the building we were in, wasn't it the original barn? And we were picking up a nurse.
Yep. There were knocks. We heard whispering.
And we were using some of, we just purchased that day, that lantern from.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what triggered a lot of that activity.
That's right. You guys had something too that was pumping out like,
An EM pump.
yeah, maybe that's what it was. I
Yeah.
remember I was
Yeah.
so intrigued. I was like, what is going on? Like, um, what a great place to get your start. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Jay.
Well, I'm telling you, and this is, and I remember that. So like, that's when I know, like, I always go back to when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to me was paranormal. So when you got new people coming into it, and they're showing pictures and they're asking questions about stuff, I never ever make fun of anybody.
Absolutely not.
You know,
Because
because
we weren't there. We don't. We were
absolutely,
just hearing their story. We weren't at their investigation.
for
Um,
sure.
that's. I just love hearing people's stories, and then like I write that down, or it's in my head, like, hey, I want to go check this place out.
Yeah, and I so when I'm either working an event or helping out a public ghost hunt, I always remember that night because you were now what I'm doing, right? You were there. You
Yep.
were, you were one of the groups that was picked with phenomenology to go around with people and
Yep.
everything. So, and you guys were never acted like I didn't know more than you know. You know what I
No,
mean?
absolutely, because we're all learning
Yeah.
and still
So,
learning, right? We're still learning.
yeah. So I say, if that had gone a different way, like if you guys really didn't care and you guys weren't in it for the right reasons,
You think it would have messed? It would have messed with you?
oh, absolutely.
Really?
I probably would have shunned away from it.
Oh,
Like I
wow.
said, I was just kind of curious still.
Yeah.
I went from being totally afraid of it then to being curious. So I started watching shows and stuff and, this and that. And at that time, it was just ghost hunters, and I thought they were cool. But still kind of on the fence about it. And I said, I'm going to do this by myself. I went by myself. I didn't want any outside influences. I just wanted to do this and
Yep.
see if this was something I wanted to put my heart into. And you guys helped with that.
And then I think the next day you bought equipment.
Yes. It was so cool. And,
Yeah.
and we've remained friends since.
Absolutely.
You guys used to do a show
Yep, we sure did.
and you had me on there,
Yep.
which is why I picked the song that I picked to put the promo up on TikTok. It was Turned Down for What? Because I remember you guys said that every time you heard that song, it sounds like they're saying Taryn down for what?
Absolutely. Those were good days, good times, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to shut up because I've been talking a lot.
No, you're fine.
So please let everybody know that doesn't know who you are. Just a little background, where you came
Sure.
from. When we watch Travel Channel, sometimes we see Lee.
Yeah,
All
sometimes.
that stuff, everything that you guys are doing, and what you guys are doing. I mean, where you're from, all that stuff.
Well, my name is Lee Allen. I founded ParaVizionz Paranormal back in 2002. Actually, that wasn't the time I started in the paranormal. I started in the paranormal actually in '98, and before that, I wasn't big into. I didn't know anything about paranormal. I didn't have experiences like a lot of people did growing up, or it's in their family, But it was new to me in '98. A month after my son was born, I started experiencing paranormal activity, and he passed away at 2 weeks old, and I didn't know what it was. So, I'm like, who do I contact? And at that time, the only show on TV that I looked up was Most Haunted, those people in UK. And I'm watching some of their shows, and I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm calling those people. I can't call those people. So what I did is I went onto Yahoo groups back in the day when they had Yahoo groups. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I was talking to people that experience, going through what I'm going through, first of all, losing children.
Yeah.
And then I was like just searching through there and I said, oh, paranormal, that's pretty cool. So I reached out to these local people and boom, I went on my first investigation. My first investigation was at Wheeling, West Virginia, Moundsville Penitentiary. Here I am, this new guy in this field with a C battery flashlight that my dad gave me from where he worked, and I bought this little tiny HP handy cam, and I had a voice recorder. That was it. And we went into this place, and wow, was the activity phenomenal, and the noises, and I'm just like overwhelmed. And we were there till 7 the next morning, so it was
Wow.
like so cool. So then moving forward, my first wife and I, we lost our little boy. Then we had our little girl in 2000. She passed away in '05. So I've lost two kids. My son, he had heart problem, and my daughter, she had sepsis in the bowels. And in the process of her going through all of the stuff that she went through, I started my team because I was so fascinated with paranormal. So paranormal to me was therapeutic for what was going on with me, losing kid, and having a child that's going through a lot of issues. And my daughter, she went through 54 inpatient, outpatient surgeries, her life. Um, so now anytime that I get sick, I'm like, I can't be a baby because look at my daughter. She went through a bunch.
Yeah,
So
sure.
when she passed away, it scared me. So I was thinking, maybe this isn't where I need to be. Maybe I need to step away from the paranormal.
Mhm.
So what's fascinating about that is so many things were coming to me when I was thinking about that in my head. I put it out there in the atmosphere. Um, the man upstairs says, no, this is where you need to be. You need to help people bring the positive back into their life. So this is what I want you to do. So it just took off from there. We started doing, we did a lot of residential cases, always still do. Um, Also going to places, some places that we pay, which I love. I'm all about, hey, yeah, did you hear the ghost story? Heck yeah, I'm running over there. Like you said, did the talk shows. Now I work with Jason, Tab's family for the Midwest. That's fun. He's always sending me some crazy case, which I do get some bizarre cases. And we'll share those in a little while. Uh, Doing that, and doing our own investigations. The team, we're small. There's 9 of us total. There's my core team, and then we have the extras that help when they can.
Mhm.
Um, Done some shows. We done a haunting. Did 2 shows on there: Ghosts of War, Trapped in Terror, Ghost Nation with Jason, the Buckeye Charm. It was called an Unholy Haunting. Uh,
Mhm.
love doing those. I got some things in the works for us right now. Actually, we got a meeting tomorrow with the producer, so that's exciting.
Good. Good for you
And
guys.
it's in the UK, so fingers crossed. Everything can
Awesome.
start anywhere, right?
No, well,
And
they
then
love that. They love it. They love paranormal over
oh,
there.
they do. They
Love
absolutely
it.
love the paranormal, and
Yeah,
so my connection over there has got a meeting tomorrow. So fingers crossed, some
that's
things, good
awesome.
things.
I have
And
a friend that's in a band over there, and he said that they're fascinated with the United States and the paranormal,
oh, cool.
how much we love it. It makes them interested. You know what I mean? Like I mean, he's in a band. He doesn't, and he kind of like watches because he thinks it's like really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he was telling me that he's like, we're fascinated by it.
Well, look how my screen did it. Took my whole body. I'm
We're getting
becoming this.
haunted by you. We're
I'm
getting haunted.
becoming my own banner. Oh, this banner behind me, guys. This was my first banner that I ever made back in 2002.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh, I love it.
so I thought I'd put it up there.
So I have a couple questions really quick
Yeah.
and a statement.
Mhm.
Because I'm finding this more and more because, as you know, it's no secret. There's a lot of trash in the paranormal field,
Absolutely.
right? People that are in it for the wrong reasons, and I'm finding that um, that the people that get into this, and I'm not going to say everybody, but because there's people that stumble into it, but when
Mhm.
when you say stumble into it, really everybody has a story, right? And
Yeah.
yours was very tragic, and I'm so sorry for your losses.
Thank you.
I see your stuff on Facebook, and it just I'm sending you guys love because it's tough. It's very, very tough. But it did bring you to where you are right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying you would give it all up to have
Oh, I would
You know what I'm saying?
in a
But
heartbeat. Absolutely.
right. I know that, but it did get you here. I lost my dad, and I think that kind of pushed me into this,
It's a therapeutic thing for you.
exactly.
You're helping others. You're getting answers. We're just putting that all out there. And when I do that, it's just like comfort. It sounds weird, but it comforts me though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm ready
And
for the next. I'm like so excited. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to help the next person.
that's awesome. And I think, that's amazing in itself, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think those are the people are the true blues of the field,
Oh yes.
because it doesn't matter if you're making money or not. You're still doing it.
You're still doing something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And I think we were put on this earth to help others instead of just being all about yourself anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.
A walk of life.
Yeah, absolutely. But my question is this.
Yeah.
Like you said at one point you thought you should walk away from it. Like and then this was after she passed, right?
It was after she passed.
So did you blame the paranormal on that? Or
I
were you
was terrified that maybe something, doing these investigations, maybe I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing, like the dark stuff. But now, what is that now? That's
yeah,
almost 20 years, something ago.
yeah,
I look at that and I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah.
Thank God I didn't walk away. Because I get this all the time. My full-time job being in the fire field, I'm always in and out of little towns, communities, and I'm always looking at the buildings and I'm always asking, hey, you got any good ghost stories in this town? And that's how we get a lot of our investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And you always get those people like, do you believe in God? Well, yeah. If you believe, I was like, don't you? And they're like, yeah. Well, you got to believe in the devil.
Right.
He's in the Bible. He's one of the angels that fell.
Right.
He's here on earth. So if you do paranormal, you believe in the devil. Yeah, I believe in the devil. But that doesn't mean that I'm worshiping the devil and I'm doing everything that he's asking me to do.
Yeah. Well, without a yin, there's no yang.
Absolutely.
Right? Without white, there's no black. Like there's
absolutely.
Or happy, no sad. You wouldn't know what sad was.
You wouldn't know what it was if it didn't
if you didn't have the opposite.
Exactly. So now it's like, yeah, man, it's just so many people, that don't believe in what we do in this field. They think that we just get together and we do a seance and we're worshiping the devil and everything's good and we're sacrificing animals and all this stuff. And
not on my watch.
Yeah, not happening because I'm an animal lover and it ain't gonna happen.
Well, everybody knows how psycho I am with animals.
So, but yeah, then you're just talking to them and making them see that side. Like you said, there's no yin without a yang. There's no black without a white. There's no happy without a sad. So it's like, and then you open their eyes because when we investigate, I love the skeptics. I really love having skeptics because within 2 hours, they're like, I'm like, are you believing anything? Because you got to be experiencing something. And by the end of the investigation, they're like, wow, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
This was a phenomenal experience that I've never been through in my life. But you opened my eyes and you opened doors that I didn't even know existed. And I'm like, yeah, we're still learning. And they're like, wow. And when you're talking to somebody that loves paranormal, because you can talk for days, stories and This guy actually, he was in one of our investigations at a battlefield in Kentucky, and he was on Patty's team. He paid him and his wife paid to come on this investigation. We do a lot of tourism investigations for local tourism in Kentucky, and we started with one, and now we're all over the place.
Currently,
yeah. So
how far is Kentucky from Ohio?
We're right there. We're right. We butt right up to it. So.
Okay.
We're in Cincinnati, so we're always over there. We are in Prestonsburg. We're in London, Kentucky.
Listen, I want to come back to Ohio so bad because when I lived there, I lived there, but I wasn't into the paranormal at the time. Now that I'm not in the paranormal, all these places in Ohio are popping up that are like, I'm so mad at myself. Even to the town that I lived in, which is like nobody's ever heard of it. Everybody from Ohio is like, I don't know where that is. And I'm like, Charles Woodson's from there. I know that. But Fremont.
Fremont. We just investigated a location up there.
Okay, hi. Right. I lived 217 North High Street, Fremont, Ohio for 3 years. It's like,
Okay.
so when they said Fremont, I said, what? Now listen, if you guys can get into Rutherford B. Hayes's house,
hmm
I'm coming.
We just did the Bill Manor.
Oh, nice.
The family Bills, the piano, they had a store downtown. Yep. They're right there in historic. I think it's High Street.
Yeah. So,
which is weird because we investigated it as a team 3 weeks ago, somewhere in there. And I told the guy that owns it that we're part of the Taps family. So right after, he sent an email to Taps. So I got an email from Jason. Hey man, this is in your neighborhood. Call this guy. So I'm reading this email, and Taps has it's all in line to name, phone number, the reason of you reaching out to Taps. Okay, we're going to get a Taps family member to reach out to you. This is our protocol. They come out and they investigate it. They get anything that's really cool, they get with us, and then so it's him. And I'm like, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, this is Lee. Oh, I was like, I told you I'm part of Taps.
Oh.
Did you get I was like, yeah, Jason just shot me this email over. This was last week. I said, Jason shot me this email over to call you. Well, can't you share what? I was like, no, we have a protocol to do. We have to come back in, which I would love to have the whole place for the weekend because we had some of the most awesome activity in there.
That's cool.
So now we're scheduling to go back out there for Taps.
That's awesome.
He wants to get it out there. He knows that the house has a lot of history. He knows there's activity. House? Yeah, it's a big old house.
And he doesn't, it's not like a B&B or anything like that.
Nope. Nope. He bought it to move into it. And he also collects like haunted things, anything haunted.
Right.
So he puts all this energy in this building as well. But the history behind the house, look it up, guys. It's Bihl Manor.
What is it?
Bill, Bihl Manor.
Okay, that's in Fremont.
That's in Fremont.
Yeah. What the heck?
Right downtown, beautiful building. So there was 4 of us, team members.
Main Street. Isn't it Main Street is what the Main Street is?
Yeah. Yep.
Is Whitey's still there? The diner?
Could be. I didn't go. We got there late. Yeah, and I drove home because it's like 3-hour drive.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were investigating all night and came home. So there was 4 of us that investigated this place. And it was me and Patty, Teresa Lynch, and Jason Schneider. We had a blast. I mean, some of the things that he was telling us, he bought it back in July of last year. He's had a few people come in.
Where it's at. I'm gonna have to Google Maps it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I lived there. I lived in Fremont for 3 years. I never went anywhere else.
Yeah. You may know exactly where this is. I'll tell you.
I will tell you the house that I lived in was haunted. There were three or four times that, because this was way before I was into the paranormal. The shows weren't even on yet. It was like 1997, and there was shit going on in that apartment.
Oh yeah.
And I was so scared. One day I was so afraid. I was sweating so bad. I was under the covers because I was afraid of it. So I didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. That
would be a different story. But I was under the covers sweating. It was like my bed was wet when I got. I mean, that's how scared I was.
Wow, and you actually stayed in there.
Yes, I did. I was like, after it happened, and then like I knew I was okay. I thought somebody was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, call my boyfriend. I'm like, come home from work right now.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody's in here because I heard our door shut.
And this was in Fremont, right? In
Fremont. Yep. 217 North High Street.
The address for this house, which he wants everybody to come out and investigate it anyways, 1213 Buckland Avenue.
I got to Google map it and see where it's
at.
And
it's in the historic part of the town, beautiful homes around it.
Yeah.
And like Jay says here, you need to check out the haunted hydro there.
Yeah.
I never investigated that place, but he did before. He's like, oh, we need to go back there. So I was like, yeah, let us go there. Check it out.
Now, are these places all in or around Fremont?
Yeah, it's in Fremont. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And His fee to investigate this place, guys, if you're interested in going to the Bill Manor, I think it was like $220.
That's great.
Yeah, so you split that up. It's like, or you can have, I think
And
it's
you can stay there. You can stay there. So is it for the night?
$270, you get it from like a certain time of the evening, like on a Saturday, and you get it all the way up to like 10 o'clock Sunday morning.
Oh, wow.
He provides snacks and soda and water. He's got an HD camera. He's got a security system set there. You can use his. You can put your SD card in it and take what you guys videoed.
Do you guys have stuff up on the website? On your website or anything about it?
Not yet. I got to upload that.
Okay.
Yeah. Pictures,
though?
Yes, I do have pictures, but we need to upload. They're on our Facebook page, though.
Okay. I'm going to go on it and check them out.
Yeah. Beautiful location.
Yeah. I would go back to Ohio. I'm telling you what, though, that's the longest drive of my life.
From where you are, yes, because
I'm turnpike to turnpike.
I hate turnpike.
Pennsylvania Turnpike is so long.
That's one I
because Pittsburgh has 50 exits.
Yeah. And it's when we go to, because Patty's from Clinton, New Jersey, the Red Mill. So when she goes home, we go there. And when we drive, which now the kids are in college, we got one that's in Austria. He's getting his master's degree. And then our daughter, she's a senior at UC in Cincinnati.
Awesome. Congratulations, Mom and Dad.
Thank you. So now we fly. We're going there in June. They're having a something in the Hudson River on June 24th.
Where are you going? Where are you flying to?
We're flying into New Jersey. We're going to spend a few days with her brothers. Hopefully get to Clinton at least, sightsee a little bit.
Clinton, that is a beautiful town.
Oh, I love it. I love going into the Red Mill.
Yeah, Red Mill's cool.
Every time we get there, and then Bruce Tango sees our pictures, he always sends a message. Okay, guys, you didn't call me. And I'm like, we got to make time for you to come so we can go and investigate the building.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so anytime we can get to New Jersey, this is weird. I love all my paranormal community that's in Jersey and all the East Coast. Love y'all. That's where it is. You guys are the true people to me.
I appreciate that, but I hate New Jersey.
You do?
Yeah. But
you want to move to Gettysburg, though.
True.
Patty's best friend lives in Gettysburg.
So lucky.
If
I had a best friend that lived in Gettysburg, I would be at my best friend's house all the time.
Got a beautiful home. He doesn't live far from Cashtown Inn. That's where we stayed when we went to his house. We stayed there. Beautiful place. We investigated it the second night. So yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah. Don't you just love Gettysburg?
I want to, instead of drive, I just want to walk. I just want to walk.
I'm telling you. Wait, when I went there once, because I go by myself a lot, and I went there for 8 days one time, and I literally walked every day. I would get out and walk, but I would go live, and I just walk around. I saw so many things, like the college was on fire one day, like just walk. And I was like, if I was driving, I would have totally missed that.
Would have missed all that.
All this cool stuff. And I'm like, I want to just walk. I just want to walk the park.
Something about that little town, just being in the town around the circle. I just love that.
Yeah.
It's just you go back in time. Like, and always when I go to those type of places, I always like, man, if I could just be like one of those people that can just touch something and go back to that time. Like,
wow. Yeah. I used to say I'd want to see it before the battle. And then for a second during, because I wouldn't want to be there long.
Yep.
And then just for a second, just to hear what they heard.
Oh, yes.
For a second. And then go and then see it afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be there long after either because of all the carnage, the horses, like all these people.
I couldn't handle that.
Yeah. That part I wouldn't be able to deal with, but
no,
I'd want to see the town for sure. I
Oh,
would want to
absolutely.
experience those two things very briefly, like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But be in the town prior to that, for a little bit, just spend like a day there.
That, you know what? I don't know if you believe in past lives, but I do. I feel like I'm an old soul in this body, but because my go-to time is like cowboy western days. I love
Mhm.
any cowboy show.
Yeah.
Western, I love it. So I think like I was talking to a guy and he goes, maybe that was your best time. I was like, yeah, I don't think so though. I said, I think I was one of those cowboy outlaws. I says, because I like to be mean. So I think, but I love that time frame.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
so anytime we investigate and they say it's in that time frame, like in the 1860s and stuff, I'm like, oh yes, this is me.
Have you ever been to Arizona?
No, that is on the bucket list.
You should go.
Want to go down there. I want to go through Texas as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
At some of those locations.
How awesome would it be to be able to go to Tombstone?
That I would love to go to Tombstone.
Yeah. I think that would be so cool.
Have not got a chance to do that yet, but absolutely. It's just, you just got so much around your area, and then you're like, people post on Facebook, it's like, oh, have you checked this place out? And I'm like, oh, I'm writing that one down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I just saw someone post about, and I saved it because I'm waiting for a response back. The Crescent Sanatorium and Prison in Pennsylvania.
Ooh, I'll meet you.
If I can get a group of people,
keep me updated on that one.
Yeah, because you can meet us halfway.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be an awesome place to investigate.
I'm in.
I don't know who investigated that on TV. I don't think Jason did he?
I don't know. I've been watching Ghost Hunters. I haven't been able to watch it on Thursdays, so I'm catching up.
I hope he's not watching because he'll give him
I've been watching my DVRs, so I'm because I haven't been able to watch on Thursdays, so I'm like,
yeah.
But I totally, if you get that set up, I'm in.
Yeah. I'm going to try.
You can, if there's room and if it's, you know what I mean? Obviously your team goes first, but I mean,
well, we already know my core's going. I know who that is. So that'll be probably 4 people, 5.
Yeah.
So
if you need an extra person, let me know.
Absolutely. That'd be great. We would love to have you.
I would love to.
Like Jay said, Jay Lynch is in the chat room. He's on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, when you come to Ohio to investigate the bill, there's a really cool place in Toledo called the Collingwood Art Center. Ghost Hunters did a episode there.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place. And the activity is phenomenal.
Really? I only went to Toledo once when I lived there.
Well, we were up there a lot because our son went to Bowling Green in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, when he graduated, it was during COVID, so he didn't get to do his ceremonial graduation.
Aww.
So he decided, I'm going to go to Austria, and he's been over there for a couple years. So
wow, why Austria?
He teaches English over there to German students.
That's awesome.
Their schools are different than our schools here because
that's so cool. You have a place to go. Like, I would love to go to Germany.
We actually went on train. We did a lot through Austria. We went to Salzburg, which
that's awesome.
This takes me back because I like the old movie. It just slipped my mind. Sound of Music.
Oh,
that's where it was filmed.
Yeah.
So when we were there, I told Jack I got to go see this, and I got to see this, and I did. And I was standing there in front of those houses where they actually filmed a lot of this. The school, it was just phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And
I want to go to Germany. So my mom's side is from Germany.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. My dad's side. I apologize. My dad's side's from Germany. My mom's side's from Italy. So I'm like half Italian, half German. And I'm going to be going to Italy in next May.
That's where I want to go next.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking a cruise, so it's going to be something, but I'm going to, one of my excursions is Pompeii.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
Just to be just to step in the water at Pompeii.
And you can climb Mount Vesuvius as well.
Yeah.
I'm like so psyched. Anyway, so I would love to be able to go to Germany. I'm sure.
Oh yes, absolutely. We haven't been to Germany, but when we were in Salzburg, you could see the mountains, and I've got all those pictures on my Facebook. Right on the other side is Germany. So I
Yeah.
mean, that was phenomenal. When we was in Salzburg, we went to Hallstatt.
Uh-huh.
Hallstatt is a little town that's built on the side of a mountain that actually Asians came over and actually built the same town. So they come there a lot. So when we were doing a walkthrough, I was like, there's a lot of Asians here, Jack. He goes,
Yeah.
yeah, they want to see the original Hallstatt because they actually
Wow.
built this in China. It's
That's
like, no
interesting.
way. He goes, absolutely.
So what made him pick there?
Um, his roommate and Bowling Green is part German, and he
Mm-hmm.
got fascinated with the language. Found out that Bowling Green's sister college is Austria, Salzburg, Austria. So that's where he went to school. Now he's in Vienna teaching. He's got an
Nice.
apartment.
That's awesome.
He is having the best time of his life.
That
We
is so
talk to him on
awesome.
Sundays, and he's got a girlfriend now,
Oh,
and he really is serious with her. He was going to come home for the summer this year, but we don't know now because he got offered a full-time job.
that's awesome.
So he may take that, but the thing that's holding him up on that decision is he may have to stop his program, getting his master's degree to do this job. But this is the sad thing is his dream job.
Right.
But I said to Patty, I said, I haven't told him, but I was like, go do the job, and then you can always go back to get your master's degree.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's decided yet or anything like that. So.
Have you gotten any like haunted locations from there? Like,
There's so many places there that I want to investigate.
oh,
Went
awesome.
into a church that was built in 1640.
Holy shit.
We were right there, and they still use the church.
I can't imagine. Like, I stood in the location that was built in 1716, and I was overwhelmed with like just the thought. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. I'm like,
I know it's still built. You're still there. It's
like over 300 years old. Like, so to be in something like that, like that would probably, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Oh, and we went into a couple of the palaces. Oh my God.
Yeah, I bet.
And it looked so like it was like they just left.
Wow.
I mean, they're just huge. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, so we want to go back, but I also want to go to Italy because Jack says, oh, we got to go over there next time. But when we left Hallstatt, though, what really made my trip, I'm a Red Bull energy drinker.
Right.
I like all my energy drinks, really. We had a rental car. So we're driving out of Hallstatt and we're going to Graz. That's the city we went to stay for the night.
Okay.
But he goes, I got something really cool I want to show you. So he mapped us in. He was a passenger. I was driving. It was weird driving on this side of the road and all that, you know. So we go and we pull up to this side of the road and we get out and we're walking. I'm following him. He goes, look at this. And we look over and there's this building floating in the water. I looked again. I was like, is that bulls coming out of the building? I got them on my page. It's the Red Bull headquarters. I did not know they're from there.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God, for real.
That's awesome.
The building is phenomenal. I took some of the most beautiful pictures of that. The landscape around it. It looks like the building is floating in this big lake.
Wow.
And the bulls are coming out of the building into the water.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm like,
now I'm going to have to go stalk your page and find
yeah, they're all on there. It's under my album, Austria trip.
Okay. I'll look for it.
Oh my God.
So
we had so much fun.
So when you go back, are you going to try to set some up? Would your son do that?
Yeah. He used to investigate when he was young with us. We would take him to some events.
Oh, that's cool.
And at one time, him and his friend wanted to actually start a teenager paranormal team.
Oh, that's cute. That's a great idea.
It was a great idea then, but then they got scared because we were on a little town here in Ohio called Bellbrook, which was really cool. I went in and I sold the idea to the Historical Society. Let's do a big event here, and let's draw people into your community because you got a loving community, and everybody loves paranormal. And they're like, well, how are we going to do it? And I was like, well, all proceeds go to you, to your community, right? And to your building because you're all volunteers for your Historical Society. So they had so many really cool places like the old high school. It's an old pub that is still running. An old church.
I hope Birdsboro Community Center is watching and they're hearing this.
Good. And I got something to share after I tell you this story. So we get a really cool ceremony. This is really cool. But her name is slipping my mind before I was going to tell you this story. What is the blonde-headed girl's name, real name, on Beverly Hills 90210?
Oh,
Spelling something.
What
Aaron
is it?
Spelling? Is it Aaron Spelling?
Oh, Tori.
Tori.
Yeah, but there was another blonde. There was a blonde.
Yes.
And then there was a dirty blonde.
Nope, it was Tori Spelling.
Okay.
Her father, we had his limousine. Oh. Okay. Well, here's the cool thing that we investigated this guy's barn. This guy collects old classic cars. He is a billionaire. He actually works with Jay Leno buying classic cars. Wow. Did not know that he's in Bellbrook, Ohio. His job is Russian diamonds.
Wow.
Billionaire. Wow. We pull in the front of this barn and I was like, this is a raggedy old barn. The front of it. We go around the back. Jack was with me because he was telling me he has one of Hitler's cars and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? So we pull in and here he comes out and he's wearing old raggedy jeans, a flannel shirt, sort of like what I got on looked like his tennis shoes. He cut grass in them.
Right.
And his name's Brian. And he goes, hey, Lee, great to see you come in. He says, why don't you just pull your car in the barn? Okay. Pull in and it's like night and day.
Really?
It's climate control, concrete. We pulled in. He directed me to park on the side here. Big barn. It goes way back. This thing was full of cars from the 1800s all the way up till today.
Oh my God. How would you even do an investigation? Like I would have been like, I would have spent hours just looking at all that.
So here was one of the cool things. I parked by this blue Ferrari.
You already said it was cool. It's already cool.
And when I was getting out of my car to look into the Ferrari, it was like red leather, but blue car. It was really cool, but different. Oh, cool. And I'm like, okay, Brian, tell me whose car this was. He goes, let me tell you the story about this car and how I got it. He goes, this was Charlie Sheen's car. Charlie Sheen only owned this for 40 minutes. He pulls out the Ferrari dealership, drives down to a wine liquor store, gets him some red wine. He says, now let's get in it. So he gets in the passenger. I get in the driver's seat. He says, now put your hand up here. I was like, yeah, it is sticky. He said, that's from his wine. When he spilled wine in his car, he took it back to the dealership and said, I don't care what it is. I don't want this car. And he got him a new one.
So he wanted to be able to put his wine glass on the car.
And pour his wine, and he spilled it, and he got mad. So he took the car back.
Wow.
And he got him another one. And he said, this is about it. When he bought it new, this was about a $285,000 car. Okay. So that night, I was like, I really like this car. So we investigated the building, right? We're getting ready to leave. And he says, hey, sit in this car again, this Ferrari. So he gives me this little fob and it wouldn't start. I was like, it's not starting. He goes, no, let me program your thumb. So he programs my thumbprint and this car fires right up. He goes, now get out of it and get back in it. And it started for me. And he goes, why don't you go ahead and drive this home?
What?
I was like, I'm not driving your car home. And if Patty was out here right now, but bless her heart, she's in there sick. Jack comes home and he's, I can't believe we almost drove Charlie Sheen's Ferrari home. This guy was like, go ahead and do it.
Well, I would have been afraid. I would have been afraid too. I honestly,
there's no way. You know what?
I think I would have did it.
What year was that? That was 2010. I had a 2010 Ford Fusion. It was brand new, but it was like maybe the cost of his wheel. Wow. So it was but we really investigated what they had there. Some of the cars, they had a limousine from John F. Kennedy.
Holy shit.
We actually have EVPs of, swear to God, sounds like Marilyn Monroe.
Stop it.
Swear to God. They had a car that Hitler was in that he would sit in the back of it. They made him paint it black instead of the gray color that they had because they couldn't get it to the States that way.
Really?
But he has all the documentation, the original color. So that was cool. Jack, he loves all that German stuff. So we had to investigate that car. There was an old Peerless, like Peerless is a really cool car. It's from Israel. Real long car, something you would see on what is that that show? Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Dick,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
that's
this thing,
awesome.
you got the window and you got the chauffeur in the front.
Oh my God, how did you investigate? I would have been so distracted.
And he has Winston Churchill's car.
Wow.
So he has some old cars, and that was a really cool investigation.
He doesn't
So
like
when
Rolls Royces?
he had all kinds of stuff.
Did he have a Rolls?
He did. He had several of those. He had a sporty Rolls Royce.
He has several of Rolls Royces.
This guy.
I'm gonna marry him just for the role.
And that's the guy that got me hooked with the society, right? And he helped me out. He goes, I tell you what, he goes, you're going to do an event here in Bellbrook. He says, I'm going to back you on this. I was like, really? So I get a call.
So was he into the paranormal?
He really loved it. Yeah.
So did he do it, or he was?
No, he just was so intrigued. We investigated for a little while, and he comes up to me and he throws me a key, and he goes, I'm going home. I'll just pick the key. I'll just get the key from you next week. Just lock it up. Here's the code to close the door. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's not how this goes. But he did.
That's
awesome.
Says,
don't worry about it. He said, this place is insured. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we got a key to the city from the mayor.
Yeah.
And I've got that paperwork in one of my files, which was cool. We did an event there.
That's
but
awesome.
That's what really, if for people out there that's intrigued with the paranormal and they want to investigate cool places, this is my way of doing it. I'm going to share one of my secrets for all the years that I've done it. Walk into your historical societies or your museums and your communities, make a friend, get them to like you, talk about ghost stories, because a lot of these places do their own ghost tours through their little towns. Be part of that, because they probably don't have a paranormal team that comes in and does it. We do it a lot for Waynesville, a little town here. So that is one of the best ways. Get in and tell them, hey, all the proceeds go to you. You're volunteers. We want to help. We want to investigate. We want to investigate these cool places and all these artifacts and this history. It just took off. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's an easy way to get in to do some really cool investigations in museums. And it really works for me. I just go in and say, well, no, I can't say that, because my fire job, hey, if you don't let me do it, I'm going to close you down. I do sometimes when I'm working, I'll go in and say, man, have you heard any ghosts in here? And the little ladies will be like, oh, this place is full of them.
Okay, so I hear firehouses. A lot of firehouses are haunted.
Yeah, I did a couple investigations in the past, the fire homes, because some of those people, that's their heaven. They come back to where they love. One of the firehouses I did in Waynesville, the lady, her name's Nancy. She's always there. I talk to them still, and they're like, oh yeah, Lee, when you came that night, it was so cool because they let me use their thermal imaging cameras they use on fires.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so when you're walking around with one of those big bad boys through their fire,
you don't need nothing else.
You don't need nothing. That and a recorder, you're good.
You're good.
So that was phenomenal.
That's cool. So do you still investigate this guy's? Are you still involved with that place?
I have his contacts. I haven't investigated there in a while. I do try to stay in touch with everyone.
Cool. If somebody wants to come on my show, I would love him to walk me around, show off his cars and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
He lives in this location that's supposedly haunted.
Yeah, he don't live that far from it. So his house was huge, because when I took his key back, I didn't meet him at the barn. I met him at his house.
And so his barn is in his house.
Yeah, that's one of his businesses, and he's got a staff of 30 people.
Wow.
For just his barn. So he's got businesses beyond businesses. Now his house was like 2 miles down off of Backcountry Road, and then it's set way back. And I'm talking this house probably 10,000 square foot. So and he told me that this is the thing when I took the key, we were talking about business, and he told me, he goes, I do the diamond stuff as just something to do. He says, but I'm handing that off to my wife. He said, because I want to focus into my cars and motorcycles and things like that.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I was like, okay, sure. And just hearing some of the stories that him and Jay Leno, he says, oh yeah, Jay was just here last week. And
did he ever say if any of the celebrities that came to the house ever had or went to the barn had any experiences or felt anything weird?
I don't know.
I wonder. Like he had experiences, obviously, right?
Yeah, because what really drew him into us to investigate in the barn was they had a Maserati, 2-door Maserati that it was looks like something James Bond would drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the backstory about it, but his master mechanic had it up in the air, and he said that.
Can you imagine fucking something up on that one of those?
I'd walk out the door.
I would be so afraid to do that job.
Yeah, especially something like that with those cars when you know that, okay, if this breaks, we may never get another part like that.
Every car has a story. It's not just a car.
But that guy swore up and down that every time he was around that car, he felt like he was wanting to throw his wrenches.
Really?
He said, he told Brian, he says, Brian, every time I'm around this car, it just aggravates the shit out of me. So he goes, what do you think? It's haunted? And the guy says, it may be. And this guy's older because I met him. He was an older guy.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, there's a team in town. Let me see about getting them here because they were checking out all kinds of buildings. And when he called me, man, I was just like, I got to go there. I did a preliminary walkthrough, met this guy, met his staff, and I'm like, yeah, we're coming. Because when you pull in and you go on the back side of the building, this yard is nothing but military vehicles.
Oh.
So it's like,
I want to move in. I'm moving in. Call Brian and say, Taryn from New Jersey is moving in.
Oh, this place was just, you would have a field day just being.
I would live there I wouldn't know what to do with myself. It's got everything.
He had a car, and I can't remember the lady's name that owned it.
He's got military vehicles on property.
He's got military. He's got fire. He's got bomb squad. Whatever he thinks he can make $1 off of, he's going to buy it.
Wow. But now does he collect it?
He collects.
Or he buys it to sell it?
He collects and he takes some of this money and he turns it and flips it into other businesses. So yeah, he's an entrepreneur.
I'm so intrigued.
Tall guy. He was like, I bet you that dude's like 6'5".
That sounds like the coolest investigation ever.
It was cool because when my son got to do it, and then the next night we went to the school, right? And I had his friend with him because that was a Saturday night. They were the two that once started a team. They were with us with 2 other investigators. You remember Patrick and Jim?
Yeah.
There was us and the 2 boys, Gabe and Jack. Jack's my son. So we're all sitting upstairs on the stage in the gym, behind the curtains, sitting in seats in a row. We got equipment out, and I'm showing the boys, okay, now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to turn on our recorders. So go ahead and turn your recorder on. Sit it down. Don't touch it because you don't want to rub your finger across the speaker. And now I want you to introduce yourself. So I'll start and we'll go down the row. So I said, my name is Lee. Patrick goes, my name's Patrick. Jim goes, my name's Jim. My son goes, my name's Jack. His friend Gabe goes, my name is Steve. I look down there because, we're all like waiting to hear. And I'm like, what was that? Who said that? And Gabe goes, I'm not giving him my real name. They're like 14 or 15 at this moment. So
I'm not giving them my real name.
So we didn't get anything, and we're walking out down the steps, and right there is the girls' locker room. It goes down the old schools. You got the downstairs under the gym locker room, and we heard something, and we didn't know if it was me and Patrick and Jim thought it was Patty and the girls messing with us, right? But we heard it downstairs. So as we go down, something scratched my back. But nobody was around me. So I had him pull my shirt up, Jack, and Patrick shined his light. No, Gabe shined the light. And I'm like, what do you see? And Jack goes, a scratch. And all of a sudden, it was Scooby-Doo moment. My flashlight was on the step. The door going to the gym went wide open. I heard like boom, boom, boom in the hallway. They shot across the gym. They went up to where Patty was. And they investigated with us that night, scared to death, but that was it. I said, "Hey, are you guys still wanting my old equipment?" "No, I think we're going to get out of this."
We're gonna hang the Ghost Lab coop.
Yeah, they did. They put it up and they said, "We're not going to mess with that for a while."
That's funny. That is so funny. That's great.
Had
Yo,
a
if you
blast.
ever get back to that place,
Yeah, I will definitely. It's a really.
I would love to go just to, I mean, wow.
Oh,
That place
if
sounds
he would let
awesome.
me just walk in and do a live and just like, and he tell us about each car.
Oh my God, I would love that. But see, then I would go, okay, go to the military stuff.
Yeah, let's
Because
go
I'd want to see
outside.
the military stuff. I'd want to see all of it, actually.
He has the biggest kind of collection. I mean, not cars like, these cars are just out there. I mean, he
Oh,
has $1 million cars like that Peerless. It was a 1920 Peerless. There was only so many of them made. It's solid wood.
and listen, I'm going to tell you right now, when that man, I'm not saying anything bad, not wishing anything bad, but he's going to still be there.
Oh, he'll always be there.
Always.
Always.
And you, like, whoever's going to be the heir to his whatever, they should be like, listen, Lee can come here
And
because
investigate it anytime.
and he
And so,
knows him and he'll talk to him.
yeah, it was a good investigation.
Yeah. Awesome.
Because like what everybody was picking up, Jim and Patrick, and we were just picking up so much cool stuff. I mean, you would hear horns.
That's so cool.
Like the old air horns that cars used to have.
Yeah.
You would hear it like, but there was holes in it. So it wasn't like a full, it was like, I'm like,
yeah.
Who the hell did that? We're all standing right here in the middle of the cars and they're all backed into the wall, right? So they're backed in and they're all headlights are facing you. And I'm like, I even said that. I said, guys, if any of these headlights come on, it's Christine. We got to get the hell out. So that was a really cool investigation. Like, and it's not something that you normally think of. Like when we think paranormal, we go to old buildings,
right?
Prisons, infirmaries, asylum. But this was a barn,
full
of old cars,
full of awesome cars.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just like totally different, and that's why I was like, guys, we're up for a different thing, aren't we? And they're like, yeah, let's do this.
Really cool, though.
Yeah, it was totally opposite. So what? One of my questions is to people in the paranormal is, it's not just buildings that's haunted,
right?
Here, let me bring two people on board here. Let's meet Arthur.
Oh, damn it.
Here's Arthur.
Lee, we used to be cool.
And how about Liza Jane?
We used to be cool, Lee.
You don't like baby dolls?
I never even owned a Barbie.
Really?
You know what I have? And it's only because it's New Kids on the Block, so it's a pass. Yeah. But I have 2 New Kids on the Block, like Ken dolls. So like when they came out with dolls,
yeah,
I have a Jordan and I have a Danny.
Oh, okay. My sister used to have all those. She loved those guys.
I still love him.
Patty got him from a lady in Cincinnati saying, come and get him. We've had him for not even a week yet. I've had him together.
Why?
I don't know. Just fascinated. And then he was made like in the 50s. You can tell by his outfit. So we did find that out. She's a little taller. So she was made 1921.
What would you do if you saw them walking down your hallway window?
Well, I'll share. The second night we had them together,
I would move.
Patty's passed out, and I'm going to tell you guys, I love Grey's Anatomy. I watched the shit out of
I
it.
love that show.
So I'm watching it, and I'm in bed, and I've got my nightlight on, and my office is right. Our bedroom is right here. So in my office, I have these 2 dolls. And I told Patty the night before, I said, I'm going to sit them together. I want to see what kind of action we get. I know our house is haunted because where our house sits, 2000, the farm, there was a tree house here. And they even told us the farm still exists, that, they're where the kids would play.
Uh-huh.
So we hear kids in here all the time. But what I saw was a shadow about 3 foot tall shoot across the doorway, and I couldn't watch Grays that night. I was like, I want to get under the blankets. I was like, it really freaked me out.
Wait, so you think it was one of those?
Yeah.
Oh no, Lee, I'm telling you right now.
This girl here,
Patty, and you told me you saw some shit like that. I would be like, take it to the river and throw them the fuck out right now.
But then, you always hear those stories. What if you take it to the river and you come back and it's already here before you get back?
Then you would say that, and then I would say, okay, let's pack our shit, we're moving, and we can leave them here, and they can live happily ever after in this house by themselves. Because I'm out.
You would think that this little doll here, she would go with. She was not a little girl's doll; she was a boy's doll.
Interesting.
Yep. I hope that it never comes to the point to where I got to, what's the doll? Robert the doll, where you got to ask permission to touch him.
Here's the thing. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't believe that objects can be possessed by anything.
Absolutely. I agree.
However, I am superstitious.
Me too.
Because yeah, go ahead.
No, just go ahead. Tell you.
No, you talk.
Well, what I was going to say just a minute ago about how we were talking about, what about objects being haunted?
Mm-hmm.
Like like you say, I don't think that things get possessed. My true opinion on dolls is if there is something negative out there, of course it's going to attach itself to something, to a child, because that is the most easiest way to get into a human body, right?
Sure.
So let's go to the doll. Let's make imaginary friends. And so, yeah, that's my thinking, is if there is something here, it's going to connect to the doll, the child, because the child's, it's vulnerable, it's open, it's
a child,
innocent. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Doesn't know any better, right? Or not like a child. I would say anywhere from like teenage, where you can process, when you're a child, you really
your hormones are going through the
cycles. Like when you're a teenager, definitely things that you're going through and emotions you're feeling,
yes,
can totally pull that type of energy in, right?
Absolutely.
But like I said, I'm superstitious. So if I were to go see Robert the doll, I would obey by all the rules and regulations. Not because I believe he's possessed by anything, but because I'm superstitious.
Bingo. I would definitely, if I saw that, just like a lot of people when they go into a home or, we pay to go in these places, what is the first thing we do? We hear the history. So, of course, the history's in our head.
Right.
So it's like, hey, guys, when we go over here, we know to ask for this person. So just like the same thing, if we were told a story about Robert the doll, hey, if you go in there, you got to get permission to take his picture. You got to get permission to touch him.
Yeah, you can't touch the glass.
And just like when Zach Bagans had that lady that worked there, she was scared to death. She said that he possessed her, and then she came on his show. The curator brought Robert the doll to the museum in Vegas. She got down on her knees in front of the doll and told him to forgive me. Please take this possession off of me. I mean, 30-something years later, the lady said that her life was upside down. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I'm worried because now I'm going to start collecting.
Right. But why? I would be like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Now I see the people that like supposedly have all these said haunted dolls, and I say that respectfully. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I don't.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that I know and respect and love are acquiring haunted items or stuff like that. But
yeah,
I think there's something to. Like I said, I don't think something can be possessed, but I do think that much like any inanimate object, meaning a house or something, like houses hold energy. So I believe that objects, because that's an object, right?
Sure.
So yes, I think an object can hold some sort of residual something. Like there's something there that
I like
think,
what you said. You said residual.
yeah.
Because if this thing was intelligent and that doll lifted up, because I got it laying on my desk, if it lifted up right now and turned to me, it'd be totally different.
I
Like
would
you talk about me, full.
kung fu. I
would chop her
I
up.
would be a kung fu master in 3 seconds.
Yeah, even though it's a history, it's an antique. Outside of but how old these dolls are. I want to pick John Zaffis's brain on that stuff.
Right. Well, cause see, that's what I was saying. Like it's interesting to me how he would go into these houses and be able to find these items, and when he would remove the items,
It would stop.
Now, is it a placebo effect?
True.
I'm not saying that anything that he did was faked or anything.
No, absolutely
I'm not saying that at all. But psychologically, everybody's involved. Even John Zaffis, he's in the moment. He's in the house. He's looking for the whole team, everybody.
We're trying to figure out why your place is this way.
Right. So
and if it comes down to that.
Right. And so everybody's in that. Like, is it okay, we found this thing buried. Mm-hmm. Could this be, and you plant that seed, and then the item leaves.
Yes.
Then people are like, okay, he found something. That's, then if they believe that, mm-hmm. And in any way, he's helping the family, regardless.
Absolutely.
And he's doing it honestly, even if it's misinterpreted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, if that's what satisfies them and their comfort level, like, oh yeah, he took a doll out. Okay. Even if it wasn't, even if he doesn't believe it's haunted, he took it out.
Right.
But they feel okay. Just like when we go and investigate. Yeah, I sage people's homes. I do a blessing. Brother Bill Bean, he's always helping us. I'm always like, hey, here's a prayer. Try this. We came up with an idea that we're going to start doing for residentials is take those little tea light candles, mm-hmm. melt them down, put different types of sage in it, and then let it harden it back up and let it burn. So you got dragon's blood, you got regular sage, whatever kind of sage you want.
Burning.
It's burning.
So it's almost like an incense effect.
Yeah. So we helped them out. So we did something. Now, I did have one lady in South Carolina. She watched one of our shows on a haunting.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she watched something on TV.
No, she watched a haunting, one of our shows, and she reached out. And she goes, guys, I've got a story I wanted to share. And in the email, it goes on and on. She's had this Ouija board since 1965. She wants to send it to me. And I'm like, negative. She said, this is her story. I tried to get rid of this, but it always comes back.
Did you get it?
No. When I got that email, the first thing I thought of is one person up on the east, Robert Murch. Hey, buddy.
I was just going to say, Bob Murch.
I called him. I sent him a message. I said, call me when you get this. Hey, man, I haven't talked to you in forever. How's it going? Because he's the one that totally changed me about Ouija.
Me too. 1,000%.
Well, it was that weekend when we were at
Phenomenology. Yes, his lecture at Phenomenology.
Yeah. When he had
I walked out of there.
Row of Ouija boards, and I walked by those, and I was getting massive headaches. I'm like, dude, you need to get these out of here. He goes, what's the difference in you with your digital equipment and this? You're asking the same questions.
You're doing the same thing.
Absolutely. So he totally changed my mind. So I told him the story of this lady, and she lives in South Carolina. He goes, yeah, have her send it to me. He goes, and I'll keep you in the loop. So he sent me videos. When he got it, he reached out and he goes, Lee, that board has a lot of energy. It's like, really? Thank God it didn't come to Ohio then.
Wow.
So he's got it under locked box. It looks like brand new.
I love Bob.
Phenomenal dude.
His lecture was awesome. Like, I tell everybody about that. I said, I always had this one. I always thought Ouija boards were bad, but I said, I went to Bob Murch's lecture at Phenomenology, and I walked out of there like, what? Like, for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, he's totally changed my feelings and views and thoughts. I mean, because you can't argue it. It's totally 100% accurate. Yeah. So me and him have been talking. Like, every once in a while, I shoot him. I'm like, Bob, please come on my show.
He won't?
He says, he goes, yeah. And then we try to, it's always
it's
like
hard to coordinate schedules.
Then it gets lost and I forget to, reach back out.
He's a great guy.
Well, I did have Brandon Hodge on. So
Okay.
Brandon was with him at Phenomenology.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Brandon and I said, "Will you come on?" So Brandon did come on, and he's more about the planchette and all the original. But I mean, he goes into it and stuff like that, which that was a phenomenal interview.
That's phenomenal.
If you can see that interview, it was great. But Bob, like I was like, I have to have Bob on because people are so misunderstood.
More people need to hear this.
Yes.
And not just in the paranormal. I wish that he could just reach out to so many people.
Yes. Like, that's why I love having the OGs on.
Yeah. It's the
There's
best.
so many young people coming up in this field that don't
have
they know Zach Baggins. That's it.
Yeah. They know a man in a tight, small shirt.
They know Zach Baggins, and I'm going to say the rest respectfully because I love everybody else. But Destination Fear, I mean, hopefully they watch Ghost Hunters because Ghost Hunters is, in my opinion,
pioneer. Yeah.
They broke the mold.
They sure did.
These young people, that's all they're seeing is on TV, right? So that's why I love having Jason Halls on because he came on and said demons are so rare.
It is rare because I always tell people when we do residentials, when they say, "Oh my God, it's a demonic spirit in my home." How do you know that? And I said, I used to have a grandpa, my mom's dad. He was grumpy. And I said, and he didn't, when you first met him, you would think, "Oh my God, this guy's a jerk."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and two, you're in his house. And I says, and we're picking him up on a recorder that's frequencies, different levels. So when we get a voice, it's not demonic.
Right.
If we're lucky to get a voice, it's not demonic. It's just a frequency that we're using because we're using a digital recorder. So you know what I've been doing? I've been pulling out my analog recorder, the old tapes.
Awesome.
Using it as well, which was cool because several investigations back, I got the same EVP from audio for digital and analog.
Interesting.
Yeah, same frequency. It was just weird, but I was like,
have you ever gotten on one or the other?
No. That's what I want. I want to see if I get an analog and not digital.
Yeah, that would be
vice
cool.
versa, but I have not.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I love EVP. So for me, I'm studying there's no literature out there for this, right?
There is not.
There's no literature out there for EVP. There's no literature. I mean, yes, the science side of it, yes. But the spiritual side of it, there's nothing out there really. So like I've been trying to do research on it. I've been trying to test it in different ways and seeing how, because I started to get responses on one recorder and not the rest, and
that's the thing too. People ask me, and they probably ask you, it's like, well, what kind of recorder do you use? Because I'm using this and it's not working. But so I'll go buy one. If they're my go-to is Sony. I love Sony.
Yeah.
I got a couple Olympuses.
Olympuses are my favorite.
I got a Zoom, which I don't really get nothing on.
Right.
I just fell in love with Jason's when we did Ghost Nation, and I was like, I gotta get that. Yeah. And so I got it. I don't get nothing because I'm still trying to figure the darn thing out.
Yeah, that's. I had a real-time EVP. I was a sucker that bought a real-time EVP. Not knowing that you could just plug my
plug your headphones into
my $20 already had recorder, and it's the same thing.
Same thing.
So I bought a real-time EVP, and that thing, I couldn't figure it out. And I was at Rolling Hills, the best moment of my life when I heard a disembodied voice, and I felt the breath on my cheek. And
he was right there.
He was right there.
Oh, wow.
And the person that was standing next to me was a paying customer, that was coming. So she just started. And I said, "Did you hear that?" She's like, "I sure did."
Wow.
And that piece of shit real-time EVP recorder did not pick it up, but I had a recorder going in the room across the hall.
Really?
And you can hear it, but it's not what would have picked up right there.
What did he say?
So we were hearing tinks, like we were hearing like these noises. So we went and we were standing outside the door. And I'm like, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "Yeah, I hear that." I'm like, "What is it?" Now, there were metal chairs in there. So sometimes they settle.
Yeah.
And you can sometimes hear a ting here and there. But this was like, it was more like like it was like doing like if a person was like,
Oh,
like, so we're both looking at each other. And I'm like, do you hear that? And we're talking, and then all of a sudden you hear this goofy laugh.
oh shit.
Right, and I could feel the breath.
Now, if Patty was out here, she would say, Lee, what do you do when you have shit moments like that? You don't want to know. She would tell you, though. I scream like a little girl. And I get so excited. I'm like, what was that?
Well, like it happened, and I looked at her, and I'm like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah. I was like, I felt that.
I mean, you felt his breath, though. You felt.
Yes. Now I didn't feel threatened.
No, but he was
It
just
felt like he was laughing at our reaction to it.
So, just think about it. This guy could have been standing there by the wall and just tapping his hands on the wall. And then you just, all of a sudden, he goes, ha, 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 gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, wow. I said, we just like totally, and I go, I can't wait to listen to this. I can't wait to listen to this. And the damn thing, you know how when you used to have like the cassette tapes and like the tape would what's that? Like bet
yeah.
And you try
to yeah.
That's what it sounded
like. It would give you that. So have you ever had experiences with paranormal popping?
Popping?
Yeah, paranormal. We call it paranormal popping.
I don't know.
Well, if you're doing real time or let's just say real time. Hey guys, it's what you hear in your recorder. It sounds like popping, like popcorns. And then right when that happens, you get a voice every time.
Huh.
Called paranormal pop. And something that I figured out when we get this, if we're around railroad tracks, investigating homes, businesses, or whatever, there's railroad tracks, there's ley lines. When as soon as a train is getting ready to cross in that area, that pop starts to happen. And then that's when we get an EVP every time.
Really?
Yep.
Does everybody hear the popping?
The ones in the headphones, because Jay, if he's still in here, he would tell you at Waynesville, we were picking up some really good stuff through the spirit portal boxes that I make. These little boogers. And you guys can see it.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Hold on, no, put it more up. Go up a little bit.
Let's see something.
And then over this way. Wait, are you trying to show us the whole thing?
Yeah, it's just a little box. You see them, people make them with the reverb. What I did is I went ahead and put the noise gate on it. So when you got your your ghost box connected to it, you have control of the white noise. Oh, so it can just be white noise? Whatever you want, or you can take away the white noise and then boom, you get the words.
See, I'm gonna be honest. I'm sure I've investigated with a lot of people, and there's probably people on here that I know they're gonna agree with me. But I have bionic ears. I hear things. Not everything, but at every investigation I've heard things.
Yeah.
And the voices get called on record. You can hear, I hear it, obviously, right? So things like that distract me.
Does it? So it takes your mind off of what?
I feel like I can't hear them when the spirit boxes are on, or.
So that's why I put the noise gate on there, for that reason, because I just wanted to build this. You can buy these things. I wanted to build this, but so I just put the noise gate on there. So now I can turn down that noise, set that thing in a room, go across the hallway, ask questions, and all you're going to hear is voice, like boom. Then it'll go away.
Yeah. Yeah. I can. So Ron Yacovetti has a thing.
Yeah.
This DRV, and he can set it to different, like if it was like, I love his thing because it's not on any frequency, no radio frequencies or anything like that. So whatever we're hearing, where is it coming from?
Exactly.
Right. But my problem is it's still
distracts you.
It's like constant. noise. Like if it could just be, you don't hear anything unless you hear the voice. Like it's like completely silent. I remember, I still have it, by the way, which I haven't tested it out, but since I can't even tell you how long. But it's called Gotcha Ghost.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah.
And it was this device that you would plug into your recorder, and it would only pick up on
Words.
whatever frequency
Whatever you're, in your air, in your
that was
environment.
outside the human voice
Yeah.
frequency.
You still have it?
I still have it, right? So you would get that recorder, you'd plug it in, and you just see a flat line unless there was something caught on
Nice.
that frequency. I forget how it was wired. It had something like some type of a quartz thing in it. I remember them talking about it.
Yeah, they put a quartz, they put copper wire.
Yeah, there's like stuff in it that, which I have.
Steve Huff made one.
Yeah, I don't know whose I have. I mean, this was back in 2000. It's 2012, 13. You know what I mean? I haven't used it.
But it's so weird that we buy all this equipment and then we use it for a little while and we don't. I've got a garage full of equipment, but I love Ghost Stop. Ghost Stop's my go-to, so I'm always buying something new there. Every time they come out with it, I got it. And he's like, dude, I was waiting for you to order.
Oh, that's cool. See, I'm just not a big, like, I like the simple things or things that, I'm sorry. And again, none of my opinion is there's, I don't judge anybody on what they do or whatever, but I'm not big on any of the apps for the phone. I'm not, because
the only app that I really like to use, and you guys probably have heard it, I like to use it for recording EVP, is the Necrophonic.
Oh yeah, Necrophonic.
Love that one.
I do have that app on my phone.
I like to use that every now and then, especially when I'm doing public investigations.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a cool, entertaining little app. Yes. I just want to give a shout out to Tiffany. Tiffany is actually one of the people that helps run Hinsdale House.
Oh, nice.
So I just want to give a shout out to her.
Well, we have to come out there and visit her then.
Yeah, she's amazing. She is amazing. She helped us plant our peach trees out there.
Nice.
And Sector 12 Paranormal actually they saw our video and then they donated some apple trees, and Tiffany's putting that all together to plant the apple trees at Hinsdale. So I just got to
giving back. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. She's awesome. Love her. Oh yeah, she's been using that. Yeah, so I just wanted to give her a quick shout out. Love you.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody. Yeah, we're going to be Jenny Davis. We're going to be with her at the Fairfield Infirmary May 22nd. Patty and I, she invited us to.
Oh, yeah. I put that up earlier.
Yeah, so can't wait to go there and have some fun.
So I love talking about EVP, right? Because to me, EVP is the most unexplainable.
Absolutely.
Piece of what we believe to be evidence.
Yep.
Right? It's unexplainable. When you're sitting in a room with 4 people and you hear, to me, I can hear the difference in a human voice or a voice that didn't happen.
Absolutely. It's got a different tone.
It does. And it's hollow.
It's mono or something. It's
yeah.
Well, just like, the old record players, you got mono, you got stereo. It's like, and then you got your 45 and you can turn the speed. It's like the fast, the low. That's the crazy thing, because we investigated this building, and we were bringing in all the equipment, and I just turned my recorder on and I set it on the mantle, and this was an old tavern. We're just coming in and out. We're just talking about, you can hear us in the background, and we walk past the mantle, but Jim, he is standing not far from the recorder, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. He was using a 35 millimeter camera, Canon. He goes, I'm going to use this old school tonight. You hear a little boy, like he was right on top of my recorder. There was no kids with us. It was just 4 of us. The little boy goes, it's the only side. I'm like, only side for what?
What?
And he sounded German.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, do what? So that night I'm pumped up because we're getting so much activity. So when I come home, I'm firing up the laptop. I'm listening to all my audio, spent hours. And as I hit that, Patty's sound asleep. And I jumped up and I'm like, oh my God, I got to wake her up. She comes out here and I was like, I'm not even going to say nothing. Just listen. So I go back like 30 seconds before, and she can hear Jim talking to us about the camera. Then all of a sudden, this little boy pops on there like, it's the only, I was like, and this was a camp. This is a camp for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They wanted us to investigate the old tavern building that's on the camp now. And so when we gave that, I was like, here, I'm not even going to explain. You're going to know what it says. And they're like, you didn't have any kids with you? And I'm like, we don't investigate with kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want answers? We're here to do a true investigation with you. And they're like, oh my God. So that right there, we weren't asking EVP. We weren't trying to get anybody. We were just bringing in cases and we were setting them in this little room where they had set up for us. That's all we were doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even giving them the attention.
Yeah. See, and that I feel like when you're not giving attention.
Yeah.
Is when they're like, pay attention to me.
Well, that's what we do. I don't know. A lot of people will agree, I'm sure, in the chat room. When we're investigating and we get a little tired, of course, we stop the conversation about them. And our go-to topic is food. And I'm like, guys, we need to quit talking about food because eventually we're going to start hearing demons because our bellies are going to go. And it usually does through the night. And then I'm like, that was your belly, right? But when we do that.
Yeah, you hear it all the time. And see, here's the thing with me having the bionic ears, I get on everybody's nerves because every little thing I hear, I'm like, was that you? Was that somebody? Did you whisper? Did you breathe?
Okay, on that topic, yes. As you are entwined into the paranormal, the more you're entwined into the field, we have those supersonic ears. Now I got these big satellites, of course, but it goes crazy. Hey, Brad. So it's
another show. So it was Ghost Hunters. I always say it was Ghost Hunters and Ghost Lab. Those were my two.
Oh yeah, I missed that show.
Me too. But you can still watch it. But like, they taught me about Ericuse.
Oh, okay.
I watched their show. They did them, and I'm like, brilliant.
It's always great to learn from others.
Oh, they're phenomenal. I love.
Don't be that big ego head that thinks, oh, I don't need to hear this guy or this gal. I can do it on what? How are we going to learn?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Even equipment, people use the same piece of equipment totally different than I do, and I'm like, dude, I never thought about that. Just from a simple K2 meter, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean. Oh yeah, he does. He's amazing. I love Brad. He's got Everyday Paranormal. Everybody, please go check him out. He's amazing. He's awesome. He has one of the best home videos from Gettysburg. I always say this. He caught a natural recording.
I remember that.
Yes, it was a natural.
Where was that at?
Gettysburg.
In the battlefield.
Yeah.
Jeez.
One of the best videos. It's one of the best. There's only two that come out of there. And one of them is his. That was amazing. But Brad's awesome. So go check him out. But what we were talking about. Sorry, I got all distracted because
No, well, we got to say hey to everybody here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to it's hard. I have ADD so bad. So
me too. Oh, there was a squirrel.
Yeah. So one little thing, it's like,
yeah.
Tiffany,
you know what we need to do, Taryn? We need to do an event.
Yeah.
At Gettysburg for all paranormal or roundtable discussion for like a weekend thing. Because Brad said something. He said, I listen to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If we had more people like that coming on and talking to show people look at Brad, he's had a show, but he just said he listens to everyone.
Oh, he does.
And there's so many people out there, like for instance, Brad, he's on TV. Oh, I did this and I did that. That's how they think. Oh, what? We need to get our heads out of our asses and we need to focus to get this field moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but that's the thing. Like the people just, there's people in this for just the wrong reasons. And that's the issue, and
Yeah, and the ones that go out and help like the residential, they're there for a reason. They're not there to collect 1,000 EVPs supposedly. To wear your black T-shirt with your ghost on it, with to stand like this. I don't care about that.
yeah.
I'm there to
Yeah.
help that person.
Right. And like again, that goes back to me like loving having all these OGs on, the people that have been in this for like 30 years, 20 years that have been like this isn't. I hate when people say, "Oh, that's a cool hobby."
It's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby. For me, this is one
This
a
is part of
passion,
my life. This is my
and it's a
passion.
lifestyle. It's a passion. It's not my whole life, but it's a part of my life.
I'd rather talk to the dead than the living.
That is true.
Good Lord.
Although, I do love, I mean, we could talk about this for hours.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Different topics
And
beyond different topics.
yeah. But like I said, we'll go back to EVP, it's, I mean, even Gettysburg never disappoints. But I feel like sometimes, like, don't you think like there are some places, and I was going to ask you this, like, do you find
Yeah,
that some places, are you drawn back to certain places and you do go over and over again? And do you feel like the activity increases as you go? Because,
absolutely.
yeah,
I feel like whatever is there, it gets to know you more.
yeah.
It's like
Well,
you probably do that with Gettysburg.
exactly. Like, that's why I always say I go, and no matter what I'm doing, I could be going and not paranormal investigating. And
Well,
I,
next time you go in the summer, let me and Patty know, and we'll make a trip and we'll make it happen for a weekend.
well, we're going to the bash. You guys got to go to the bash.
That is when May.
July.
Oh yeah, yeah. What's coming up? Penhurst is coming.
Penhurst is coming up.
That's the one that is May 19th through the 23rd.
Yes. And then the bash is July 13th. Well, everybody shows up the 13th. That's the Thursday, but it's that Friday, the 14th through the 16th.
Okay. And now they're not going to do any more like phenomenologies, are they?
I don't think
You ever
so.
thought about bringing it back, Dana or anyone?
Yeah, they I don't think they're gonna.
That was such a great event.
That was so fun.
Just what it was 5 times, 4 times, 5 times. I missed one.
So fun. It was so fun. That's when I met Josh Gates. I met
Think of all the cool people that we have met there.
There were so many cool people there.
What was his name? Travis Walton.
Travis Walton. That was amazing.
Remember we met him? Was you out there in the lobby when we were all just goofing off? A bunch of people playing guitars, Chris Nicoletti, Bill Dean.
Yes.
He walks past that elevator. Instead of looking at us, he looks down the hallway and he's mumbling, talking to somebody that wasn't there. And we all stopped. And then he turned and looked at us and I was like, oh shit, we're dead.
Yeah. I wanted to put aluminum foil on my head.
Yeah. I'm not here, dude. You don't see me.
Right. Yeah. Incognito over here. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know what happened to him either.
And I don't know what happened to the other guy, Stan Romanek.
Yeah. Maybe I'll reach out to them.
See if they're still alive.
I'll send Travis the picture of me and him that we got together, and I'll say, "Hey, I met you. Are you willing to go?" Now I know here's the thing: whether or not you believe in their stories or not,
story. I love hearing stories.
I mean, Travis, when you talk to him, you know something happened to that guy.
Oh, you know it.
Something,
just the way he is.
I mean,
like if he's talking to you face to face,
yeah,
he's literally talking to you and then looking like he's afraid that he's going to get. I don't know.
Like he wouldn't.
Now, hey, buddy.
At Phenomenology, they had an alien on the stage, and I remember him telling them, "You got to take that down. I'm not getting up on stage with that thing up there."
Yeah, he was flipped out about all that stuff.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not glorifying my experience. He's like, I'm not doing it. You guys are glorifying.
And I remember talking to Dustin Perry because Dustin was sitting his booth was right beside his, back side of the room. And I was like, your energy vibe's not helping him. And he goes, I can't. It's not doing the thing. Because Dustin's energy is so.
If he can't do it,
I know, right? I love him.
Yeah. Like something happened. I mean,
that's a guy you need to get. You need to reach out. That would be a
I'm
really
gonna, you know what?
interesting
I'm
interview.
glad we're having this conversation because I'll be honest, I forgot about.
There was a documentary on not long ago about his
I
story.
wonder if he would come on though. I mean,
He,
I think somebody because he's so he was even at phenomenology, he was just so closed.
he
Like
was
he just
closed. Like he could be in that room full of people, but he was by himself.
yeah, he was just
I
so
mean, he would talk if you
he did
can.
good. I was gonna say he tried.
He tried.
He took pictures and he was like talking, but you could
Yeah.
tell he just it wasn't his scene,
No, not
you
at all.
know? And that was respect I'm saying that respectfully.
Just yeah,
He
I
was on the
just
Kardashians. Okay, I'm lying. Maybe he got over that.
oh whoa, hey,
Had no idea.
I didn't know that.
Well, when I met him, that's how he was. But that was at phenomenology. That was probably the same weekend I met Brad and his brother. And they were
Wow.
like, I have a picture of them. I told Brad this the last time he was on because I said, I gotta be honest. I was a fangirl. I said, I have a picture of me in between you and your brother. And I'm 5'3" and I weigh like 108 pounds. And I'm between Brad and Barry Kling, who are like 6'5".
Just a
And
little
like,
face.
yeah, and I look like a 3-year-old. I mean, but they're awesome. I love Brad.
I did not know that.
I didn't
He
know
said
that
they
either.
just
So I
took him
guess
to
he
the
hasn't gotten
UFO.
over that because when I met him, he was so
Are you
reserved.
watching Skinwalker Ranch?
I haven't.
I just started watching it.
Like that new one with that
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, the Discovery Plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I want to look into them a little bit more because they're all pretty people.
Yeah, there's something about when you have pretty people like that instead of just like, look at this guy. I mean, look at me. I'm just, you know, I'm
Yeah,
not-
like I get it. Like, okay, they're like like I just like ghost hunters, they've known each other for 30 years.
they've been friends. They know each other.
They were together before it was a show.
Yep.
Brad and Barry, they're brothers, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay. But like when you just pull people together, it doesn't work. The Redskins tried to do it one year. You can't buy a Super Bowl.
Yeah, look at my team too. I'm not even gonna mention their names.
But you can't buy a Super Bowl. You can't buy that. Like you can't just
No, you got to build that. You got to build a relationship.
Yeah.
And
So
how are you going to build a relationship with somebody if they called you, Taryn, to do a paranormal show with people that you never talked to before? And then, okay, we're going live. Here we go.
actually Dustin has been on my show. You see, he means Dustin, right?
Yeah, he means Dustin Perry.
Yeah, Dustin's been on. I've had him on.
Great dude.
Oh, he's amazing. Oh, he took him out to a UFO hunt.
The Kardashians. Oh my God. They changed his life. That's why. That's funny. But the guy that he's part of MUFON, Skinwalker Ranch, the main guy, Travis something.
I don't know.
He's
I'm
a pretty boy,
actually having a MUFON person on.
Are you?
Yes. Kelly Page, her name is.
Oh, okay.
She's coming on and she'll be on May 14th. It's a Sunday.
Nice.
I'm actually really excited about that.
His name's Travis Taylor.
Travis Taylor.
Yep. He is the leader. He's an American scientist. Travis Shane Taylor, engineer, science fiction author, and the star of National Geographic Channel's Rocket City Rednecks. That was only for 2 years, 2011, 2013. Yeah. He's the main guy.
Yeah, I feel like when they first
you can't see it with my background.
When I saw they were going to come on, like start the show, I reached out to them and asked them to come on because it was before they were going to be on a show and stuff like that. Like I was like, oh, maybe they'll come on. They totally ignored me.
Oh, what? Really? Look at Brad with all this knowledge.
Oh,
I know. He's like, I didn't know that.
I had him on one time. Well, we talked about it because he's like the Kennedy, like the assassination of John F. Kennedy. You know? I love picking his brain about that. Love picking his brain about that. I mean, he would do like he'd go down to Dolly Plaza and he would just give people tours and talk to people and stuff. So he's like full of knowledge. I love Brad.
Sounds like Brad's bringing up a lot of stuff about Travis. You need to get him on the show.
Travis, I want to. I'll reach out to him if he's been on the Kardashians. I mean, I know I'm not,
we're not the Kardashian,
but I'm sure, there's a little bit of that involved.
Yeah, now since he's been on that show,
but I'll attempt it. There's people that I've reached out to that I'm like, okay, like William Shatner.
Have you tried?
I'm just gonna try.
Yeah, what did he say?
He never responded. I heard he's not a nice person.
Oh, really? So he wears his Michael Myers mask all the time.
So I wanted to have him on because of the show Unexplained. Love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. I love it. But I have a question for you because I don't want to talk about me. I'm like starting like that. But what's the most memorable experience you've had when you weren't investigating? When you were just maybe eating pasta and oh my God, something happened. Like you weren't investigating at all. Not even in the mindset. Like you weren't thinking about
also not even thinking about paranormal.
Right.
One of the most awesome things that ever happened to me out of nowhere is I got to do a Super Bowl commercial that never made it nowhere.
Oh.
With two massive boxers.
No. I mean, you weren't thinking about paranormal, but you had a paranormal experience.
Oh, a paranormal, like deja vu stuff.
No. Just if you, like one time I was at
work.
Like
just walking and I just see somebody.
Or you heard something, or you were, How
about work? I go into a lot of buildings because I do fire. So I go into empty buildings and we have to check certain things like fire alarms and sprinklers and things like that. And I've got keys because out front of the buildings, they have lock boxes so we can get in, the fire guys. Go in and then you think it's this was about a year ago, downtown Cincinnati, when I thought it was the building owner and I'm talking to him. And then my phone rings and it's the building owner and he says, "Hey, I'm about 5 minutes out." And I'm like, "You're not upstairs?" "No." So I'm in my work zone. I'm not thinking of paranormal.
Right.
But I'm talking to this guy, but then he calls me and says he's 5 minutes out.
Holy shit.
So what am I doing? Fumbling keys. I'm like, oh my God, someone's in this building.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. Awesome. Because when he got there, I told him. And then he goes, "Why did you tell me this?" I was like, "Because it's your building. And I thought you were here." And he goes, "Now you're scaring the shit out of me."
Like I'm freaked out. I remember I was at work one night and I was the last one there. I had to clock out at 8 o'clock. I couldn't clock out any sooner. Nobody's there. Everything's shut off. I'm just waiting for the 8 o'clock to hit so I can clock out and leave.
Get out of there.
Literally 3 minutes. So I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I hear, "What is this place?" A woman. Loud, like she was standing right
in behind you.
Like right there. And I go,
"What is this place?"
I'm like, "Hello?"
Yeah, what?
I didn't hear nothing. So I get up. Now I'm like, okay, I know everybody's gone. I'm like, and I'm yelling up the steps. I'm like, "Hello?" Yeah. Nothing. There was nothing. So finally I was just like, all right, well, it's a doctor's office. Do you need help? Then I'm like, but nothing. That was it. That was all I heard. So that for me, that always
would be, yeah. It happened to Patty and I. We went to Millersburg, Ohio, which is Amish country.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Millersburg Inn. It's an old hotel. And we just went there for the weekend. And we're in the bar. We're not thinking paranormal. We're just in the bar having some drinks, just had dinner. And all of a sudden, there was a woman that brushed us. And I'm like, but there was nobody there. So I'm like, what the hell?
Wow. Did you feel it?
Yeah, you could feel it like brush your back, like her arm and her elbow just.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, because I saw a shadow of a woman, but there was nobody there. And where we were sitting in the corner, we were at a high top. There was no way that somebody would have went
Yeah.
between me and the wall. And why would they go that way? Because that was 2 feet was the wall. So I'm like,
Right. Wow.
and so the lady comes over and she goes, "You guys act like you saw a ghost." And I was like, "I think we did."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well," then she just starts sharing, "This place is haunted." I was like, "I had to be. I haven't even looked it up."
Well, we just got haunted.
Yeah. Why do they
We're
want to be here?
That's great.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, like you say, it's like that is weird. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have it, but so many people, I think they have their peripherals closed, right?
Well, and
And
for me, the reason I asked that question is because whenever you go when you know you're going on an investigation, you're already in a mind frame.
yeah, you're already. That's why when I like to go on investigations, I don't want to hear the stories.
Yeah.
Let
I
me hear
struggle
them.
with that. I struggle with that so much. And like I went
I
back
do
and
too, but I always ask questions, and I'm like, dang it,
yeah,
I don't want to know.
it's like because I'm not a psychic medium, I'm an investigator. So
Yep.
for me, it's like I want to know the history facts,
Yep.
right? Um, but then when I don't want to know the ghost stories, but then I'm like, well, I do want to know them because if there's a logical reason I can figure out what's going on, I have to know
I
what the
gotta know.
claim is,
Yeah. Right.
right? I mean, I struggle with it so much. Like sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to know, but what am I trying to validate with that?
Exactly.
I already know. For me, it exists, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to validate anything for myself. I want to be able to go in there and investigate and do what I got to do.
Maybe, because too, I want to hear the stories. And then maybe it's like if I hear the story and this person comes to me in any way with equipment or just write it, they may tell you something different than they tell me. So
Right.
you may go in there tonight and I may go in there tomorrow. And the owner can put all this together and make it so now he's figuring out more about this location, the people that were here. Isn't that what we're trying to dig history, but isn't society trying to take away our history? I mean, it makes no sense.
Yep. That's the thing. Like, I want to try to do something with historical places and societies and stuff because I feel like we're so misunderstood
We
because of
are.
TV.
We
Like
are.
historical places, and we do. I mean, we have a lot of places we can go to,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
But a lot of the time, you think about like there's a lot of historical places and societies that are like they want nothing to. It's like
They want nothing to do with that because it's no.
a
And
lot of it. A lot of the times, it's mostly like the national park services and stuff like that. Like they don't want to, and I'm like, but we're trying to do the same thing you are, just in a different way. Like
yeah,
we're trying to keep the history alive.
your history is great, but our history is bringing the person alive.
We're keeping it alive.
Yeah.
You have like little. I'll just use Gettysburg as an example because that's the biggest historical / haunted place that I've ever, been to. But like, I'm at the 20th Main Monument. I'm sitting there doing an EVP session, and I'm like, "Are you thinking?" I wasn't thinking investigator. I was just thinking global. So I was like, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" And I'm sitting at the base of the 20th Main Monument, right?
Oh, wow.
Trying to communicate with Maine, Chamberlain,
Yeah.
But I go, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" And later on, when I listen back on my recorder, I hear, "No, Maine."
Oh, wow.
Now, if I said, "If you're from Maine," and I got a yes, that could be arguable.
That could
People
be
could say,
anything,
"Maybe
but
you
how
moved your
you
arm."
said it and approached it.
Right. They could be, "Oh, you moved your arm. You moved the recorder. That was
Yeah.
wind." It just sounds like that because of the way they were. But I said, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" Here, no, Maine. When I heard that, I was like,
Here's something else too. When you go investigate, you always hear the stories. When you're talking to the spirit, have you ever thought about trying not to bring up what's being brought up about their past
1,000 times.
every day, 24/7?
Just started that.
Yeah, because you get this and it's like, well, hey, I want to know you. I know you did bad things. We're all human. We all done bad things. We're not perfect. But let's talk about you. What's one of your favorite things? Sometimes that works
Yeah.
because they're so tired. When we did our show, we had a shaman on, and he was talking about paranormal. The shamans, they believe in all that. But he was saying how all of us paranormal investigators go to these buildings, the ones that are open 24/7, different team, different energy every night. He's afraid that down the road, someone's going to get hurt. And it's usually the new people that go in there that don't have any knowledge of anything going on. He goes, the beast is going to be unleashed. Mm-hmm. And when I say beast, I'm talking the spirit, because people are going in there every night and focusing on that person and that location and that area, asking the same question. And when this innocent person comes in, they're going to just attack them. And I'm like, well, you may be onto something.
But it's interesting you bring it up, because I was just at Octagon Mansion in Withville, Virginia, and we were sitting there, and I said, do you think they're getting tired of hearing the same thing?
There you go.
So I said, I just want you to know, I'm sorry if you've heard this question so many times. I said, but we're trying to keep your memory alive. We're trying to keep the history of this place alive. And a lot of us don't do this all at the same time together. So we're trying to find answers. So you're going to hear the repeated questions, and we apologize for that. We're not trying to frustrate you. Yeah. It's just how we have to do to see if our answers collaborate, and it might take long for us to get there, but we're trying.
Or what about, hey, can you make that noise again? And I promise I'll leave.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't say that because I don't want to leave.
And the thing is, I'm like, hey, you asked that, you need to leave now.
When somebody says that without consulting the rest of us, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. You may be done.
You might want to leave, but I'm not leaving. I don't want to leave.
But you hear that all the time. If you can make that do that one more time, I promise I will walk away from this area. No, you may, but we aren't.
Yeah, no. Kathy says, hey, Lee, in your opinion, where's the most haunted place in Cincinnati?
Oh, you live in Cincinnati. Hi, Kathy. Well, you can't investigate it anymore, but one of my favorite places that I got to investigate, well, there's two, is in Athens, the Ridges. And we had the opportunity to go in there and investigate. And probably the most haunted place in Cincinnati, I would say Bogart's or Taft Theater. Those two. I
want to do a theater.
Oh, I love doing the old theaters. They're so awesome.
I really want to do one. I want to go because Gettysburg has the Majestic.
Yes.
I want to get in there so bad.
Do they talk about anything? Have you been in there?
No.
Music hall, I would love to do music hall, Kathy. That's for sure. She's talking about Cincinnati Music Hall. Look that up sometime. It's actually built on an old cemetery.
No, we don't do. Why do people do that?
I don't know why.
It happens so much. That's like where we were this past weekend, Octagon Mansion. There's eight graves buried under
part of the foundation, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't get that.
How, I feel bad when I walk across
a cemetery,
a grave.
I can't stand it. You're right in front of the tombstone. When I go see my kids, I'm always like, I walk in between, but I'm like, I hope that these walkways, there's nobody like this. I just feel bad. It's like disrespect. People ask me, do you investigate cemeteries? No, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in some cemeteries that are, there's the Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philly. Supposed to be haunted, right? I've never investigated there. They hold stuff around Halloween. So
they do things right there. Okay.
They do, because there's been a lot of people that have come in because they have a museum you can walk through. It's a very old cemetery. A lot of famous people are buried in it. Mm-hmm. General George Meade is buried there with his family. Okay. There's a lot of famous people in this cemetery. The mausoleums, you can live in them. They're houses. They're huge.
Wow.
It's a gorgeous cemetery. And Rocky, when Adrian died,
That's
and
where.
her funeral was held in Philly, well,
Mhm.
the tombstone is still in the cemetery, even though nobody's really buried there.
They still
But
have it sitting there?
yep, Adrian Balboa is what it says.
Wow, that
And
is
they
so
left it
weird.
there. Yeah. Harry Callis is there. It's a big microphone.
Mhm.
His headstone's a big microphone.
Oh, nice.
There's I mean, the cemeteries go. I love cemeteries. I love photographing cemeteries. I love going to cemeteries. Um, I don't think they're haunted necessarily. I mean, I think we bring that there when we go there. If we're going there with
For that? Yeah.
the intention to do that, I feel like we would probably bring that in. You know what
Sure. Yep.
one question, and it's a loaded question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want
No,
to.
you're fine.
And then I want you to just kind of promote whatever you got coming up where people can
Yeah.
find you, because I've had you for almost 2 hours now.
No, I know. Oh, I just see that.
Time
We talk
flies.
away. Time flies.
But I knew this was going to be. We always have great because
Absolutely.
we're like minded.
We're family.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you guys, you and Patty totally are. ParaVizionz they're amazing. If you guys are ever out in Ohio,
Yeah,
please,
just look us up. We would love to have you go to any of our locations that we can get into, talk about paranormal. We're all about, like Brad said earlier, listening to everyone. Right?
yeah. So I have a question.
Yeah.
And like I said, please tell me if you don't want to answer it. Have you ever, it made me think about it when you said you were seeing like the shorter shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt your kids, your children?
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever had?
I've got a file of audio clips that I have talked to my daughter. She come through. It was just me by myself. This was every time I talk about it, I get emotional. But no, it's I like to talk about it because
I
it's
know.
therapeutic.
Therapy. Yes, I know.
This was back in. Well, I did it twice because I did it by myself in about 07. When me and my ex-wife split, and I was in the house, and this was the year that I was putting the house up for sale, and I just felt her presence. So I actually just grabbed my recorder, grabbed one little tiny trigger object, and I set it on the bed. That was one of her little things in her room. And I talked to her because I needed to hear my daughter. And that was fascinating because it took me like weeks to pull it back out and go over it. And I finally did. And I still got it. And then I did it one other time, and I tried to get my son into it, but he didn't come through. But my daughter, yes.
Has it happened more than once, or
yes,
you
it happened twice.
That's
and
awesome.
I've tried more than that, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
I've never had anything like that with my dad, but I did have a visit dream. And it may be different when you lose a parent as opposed to the opposite, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a child, so I feel like an adult spirit, right? So I think the reason my dad doesn't come to me again before or awake, I was in 12 years of therapy after his death. I did suffer a lot, and a lot of people might think that's dramatic.
No, everybody's different.
So I think if I were to even have a minute, a voice, it would throw me back.
Oh, it would.
And I think he knows that.
That's probably why he doesn't do it.
Exactly.
But he's always there, though.
He always has given me signs. And
they always do.
The friends that I have that are legit psychic mediums, and I trust them.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only people I trust with anything that comes through from my dad, because I'm not just going to believe anybody. So when they tell me stuff and things happen, like he gives me signs that there's you can't explain, right?
Yeah.
So he makes it known that this is me.
Yeah.
There's no question.
This is dad now. Right?
Children feel that you need that,
Yes.
right? As an adult, it's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
My dad's protecting me. Your child wants to please you.
Yep.
As in life, that's what kids do. They want to please their parents. They want to,
Absolutely.
so it brings them joy to make you happy.
Yep.
But my dad is like, I'm protecting you. This is what I want to do. So I'm not going to do this to you because I know what it'll do to you.
Darren just asked, do you believe spirits age in the spirit world? Okay, at first I didn't believe this, but I'm going to share a dream. February 13th, 2014. I remember the date. It was a night after we did Looking into the Unknown, our podcast. The guys left, Patrick and Jim, me and Patty. We're asleep. I get into this dream where I needed a glass of water. So I get up, I go downstairs. It felt so real, like we're talking right now. Walk through the living room. I'm hitting the dining room, and I notice that the light's on in the dining room. And Patty knows that I hate lights. If you're not in the room, turn the light up. So I'm walking around and I'm hearing voices, and I'm hearing teenage kids. Her kids were at their dad's. So I'm like, who is this? So I thought, okay, maybe I'm being punked. Maybe Patrick and Jim, this is Patrick and Jim sitting here. They came in the back door. They're going to punk me.
Right.
So as I'm walking around, all I see is the back of this boy. And he had a blue hoodie on with white strings. And his hair was styled a little bit. And as I walk around, I'm facing this little girl, a little shorter than him. She had a gray, long sleeve shirt on. She had a necklace. I didn't see the necklace up close right away. They were talking about me. And as they turned,
you weren't there?
Yeah. And all of a sudden I'm standing in between them and I'm looking down at them. They're sitting we have a round dining room table right there, and they just got their arms on it. They look up at me and they said, Dad. And when they said Dad, that's when I felt this real cool sensation come around my body, and I just buckled. And as at the same time, I could still hear them talking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the weirdest thing. I wrote it down. It's here. I got it in a book.
I believe it.
I jumped up. I grasped air. I woke Patty up. I explained what happened. I was like, my kids came to me and just showed me that they're okay. And she goes, what'd they look like? I said, they're older. They're where they should be. And the necklace was the necklace of an angel with her birthstone that we put in her casket. And she had it around her neck.
Oh, wow.
And that was February 13th, 2014. And I've never had another dream like that before. Because why now? I think about it all the time. When she passed away, I'm like, why, Lord? Why? Why me? Why lose 2 kids? I said, I want to know why. What's going on? And all of a sudden, he gave me why. He showed me that they're okay. They're in a better place. Keep on. Move on. It's not your time yet. I showed you that they're okay. You keep doing what you're doing. That was it. It was weird.
Well, it's interesting because, early on and when we started talking, you said, when you lost her, when your second child gone, you said, why am I doing this?
Yep.
I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to back out of the paranormal. And you said, God came to you and said, this is what you need to do. This is
what I need to do. I need to help others. And he showed me okay.
And he said, this is the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And don't take that the wrong way.
No.
I'm not saying that that's it. But if you spiritually look at it, on a spiritual level, do you know what I mean?
Yep. Doesn't he use us all as messengers? His followers, David, Peter, Paul, all those people were messengers of God. They followed him, his journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I look back at this when he told me this stuff, when I knew that this is reality, because there was signs everywhere, right? And I even went to church because I was a Baptist. I went to church loyal. And then finally, that's another whole story. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying, Lord. I get where you want me to be. This is where I need to be. I need to help people any way you want me to help. Even if it's just being a counselor, going into their home and
Well,
counseling,
being a firefighter.
doing my job.
Yeah, being a firefighter, which thank you for your service, by the way.
Absolutely.
But being a firefighter, I mean, that in itself, I mean, you're helping people.
You're doing your, yeah. So God's like, I'm not done with you. You got to do my mess. You got to keep doing this.
You're good at firefighting. Now I need you to.
And we become more, in the paranormal. And I tell people this, this is the first thing a residential tells me. You may think I'm crazy.
They all say that.
Why? Because you called me. You may think I'm crazy because I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Right?
They say it all the time. You're going to think I'm crazy. I said, you just called a paranormal group.
Right? I know, right?
Nothing you can say
is going to freak me out.
It's going to freak me out. Initially, I won't think you're crazy, but I mean, going down, we're gonna go through some questions where I can get to that basis, but
And I tell people that if they're wanting to get into the field when we do our investigation classes, our ghost classes, and I'm like, you're going to be 95% of the time, you're going to be a counselor.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to talk to family. They don't want to talk to a preacher. They don't want to talk to their neighbor. They want to talk to a total stranger.
Because they don't want anybody to know.
No. Anybody that they know that lives around them or in their world on a daily basis, they don't want them to know.
Right.
And it's like, okay. And then Patty's gift is, being she was actually a client. And that's how we met. Oh. And so when she goes and, people are saying that they have all these problems, she's always pulling the mothers, the grandmas aside, and they're talking like, you said you're on a medication. Do you know the side effects? And so Patty sits there with them and brings it up and says, these are some of the side effects that you can get.
Absolutely.
And that opens up their doors too. Like, wait a minute, everything is not paranormal.
That's me too. Do you know somebody actually called me out about that? Because I said, when I do a private home, it's got to be transparent on both ends.
Absolutely. Can't just be one side.
It's confidential, but they got to be honest. So that question that says, are you on any medications, whether it be legal, illegal, whatever, this is kept confidential. It is.
It is.
They're lying about that. You need to find out.
Yep. And because, I tell them this straight up. I do a preliminary walk.
Yep, me too.
And I'm like, let me tell you, when I get my team together, we all have full-time jobs. We have lives. We have families. We're stopping our day for you. And then when we come, if you want this confidential, it stays confidential. But I need to know the honest truth when we talk.
Absolutely. I'm the same way.
If not, we'll just pack up and we'll leave.
But I go through the medicine cabinets, I go through drawers, I go under beds. But I tell the client, I'm like, this is how we investigate, because
or if they leave it out in public, like in Cincinnati, Patty wasn't with me, it was the guys. We investigated a home, and I told the guy, I says, beautiful Cape Cod house, and I'm like, hey, he's doing all kinds of remodeling. I'm like, which bathroom works upstairs? And he said, oh, go through the master bedroom, that one works. Yeah. I go in there, he had a one hitter.
That happened to me too.
This was way back before it was legal. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's the same thing. Are you on any illegal drugs? No, I'm not. We're walking through the house and there's a bong like this.
A big bong that he's got.
I open up a drawer and there's like a pound of weed. And I was like, is this not a drug? Why am I confused? Like, what's happening? I know, it's forgiven, but I mean, at least put it on the app. Like, who cares? Like, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's staying between us. So we can be on the same level. Like, okay, I know you smoke some pot. Maybe you got headaches. Who knows?
Nobody's going to judge.
I'm not judging you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to get you answers, anything you need. I'm going to counsel you. If I can't get you the answers, I'm going to reach out to the community and say, hey, I got a client and I know this is your forte. Can you help me out? Or can you direct me somewhere? Because I can't go into an investigation and think I know everything, because I don't.
Right. You're not. Right.
No, because my first instinct is I'm going to, as a fireside, I'm going to pull out EMFs. I'm going to look at electrical outlets. I'm going to look at electrical panels in the basement. I'm going to look at wiring to see if there's any live wire. I'm going to look at safety stuff first. I'm going to, oh, this door opens on its own. Well, I'm going to step on the floor. I'm going to try to reenact this. And if I can reenact it, I'm not saying it's paranormal.
Right.
But then we got that 5% that the paranormal lives off of, that's all we got out of the 100%.
Yep.
And then we're going to investigate. Now we're going to pull out the real guns, lights out. Yep. We're going to use infrared. We're going to use thermal cameras. We're going to do everything full spectrum. We're going to do it all.
Yep.
And I can't do investigations. I don't know it. I know there's people out there that do, but they say, oh, I like my clients to leave. And trust me, I don't, because this is their house. They don't know me from Adam.
Right.
No, I don't want them calling me tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want them calling me tomorrow and say, hey, my jewelry's missing.
Yeah, no, I want my environment as normal as possible.
Yeah, because how do I not know if when they leave that this is going to happen when we're here?
I mean, they go in a room and they shut the door, but, one, I don't believe in investigating with the client because sometimes because I was involved in a situation where the client was there and there was a little girl there and somebody said, oh, this is where the guy hung himself. And
oh, good Lord. You don't, yeah.
Freaked out and said, this is where I have to sleep. And I was like, oh no, I'm done. I can't do this. This is making it worse. I can't investigate with the client.
I like that. I like that way. They can be in a room, but I just want them there.
Yeah, no. They've been in the house. They've, been in their room and, we just ask them, you can't put the TV on. I know it's boring, but we can't have any ambient noise. Like we have to pretend you're sleeping because you would be at this time.
Absolutely.
Right. So just shut the lights off and pretend you're going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's one of the reasons everybody goes, oh, why do you only do it at night? Do the ghosts only come out?
I know, right? It happens all the time.
And I go, well, first of all, I have a full-time job. So I work during the day.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday. I'd still be going there at nighttime because I can't go during the day.
I can't go during the day because I'm working.
Right.
Yeah, because activity doesn't stop. It keeps going all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But we usually do it at night because one of the things scientific is the ions in the air is more calm at night. There's no
ambient noise. There's a lot less
noises. Is quieter.
Yes. And that's when people have the most experiences too, because the ambient everything around them is lessened at nighttime.
Absolutely.
There's less cars on the road. There's less noise in the air. There's less lights in the sky. There's less.
Yeah.
So, and you're in you're falling asleep. And sometimes spirit will say, okay, how am I going to communicate with this person without freaking them out? They're going to think they had a dream, or they're going to be falling asleep and they're going to be, well, I was falling asleep. I don't know if I was dreaming or if I was, so things like that happen.
It does.
And if you do it at night, you tell the clients, look, pretend you're going to sleep. And
yeah, just be quiet. Just lay there.
Yeah.
I don't care if you burn a candle.
Yeah.
But just be cool, just let us do our thing because you're normally sleeping at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah. So go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People don't understand. I always say this all the time too, because again, I had my balls busted once about the way that I do my private home.
I don't get it why people people do different things. I like it. You do your set, your way. I'm all about it. It's like, oh,
it was about me going in drawers and this and that. And I go, it's supposed to be, I'm not going in there and they don't know that's going to happen. Let's just be honest. I tell them, I am as transparent as I can be, hoping they're being the same with me.
Yep.
You have to build a trust, right?
Lisa just asked, Lisa Tussey, she goes to our Waynesville classes. Have either of you ever got so freaked out you had to shut it down? Absolutely. Not shut it down completely, but just step away from that area.
Hinsdale.
Moundsville Penitentiary for me.
We didn't shut it down.
We didn't shut it down, but I just had to leave for that area for a moment.
But it's the first time I've ever been so scared that I've actually pulled a dude run.
Did you?
I did.
Well, if I could found my shoes, I would have been a dude run.
I was a dude run.
I'd have been a dude
run in my situation. I was out.
we were in the infirmary in Moundsville Penitentiary. Patty and I, we did a TAPS family investigation of Moundsville Penitentiary about a year and a half ago. So a lot of the TAPS family got together and we rented out the whole prison. So there was 2 other guys from Michigan and we were in the infirmary. And we're standing there and I just set the REM pod on the floor in the middle of the hallway. And then a little farther down from us, I put the coffin, the little music box one. I set it, turned it on, calibrated it, faced it 2 directions, one hallway for the REM pod and one the other way.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking back to where everybody is standing in the hallway, it sounded like, remember the old wood hall passes in school? You had to go to the bathroom, they give you that big old wood hall pass.
Oh, yeah.
It literally sounded like one of those dropped in front of me. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And the voice I heard, and what I do is I back up. Patty's got it on audio because she kept the clip because she can hear all 4 of us. I'm like, what was that? What was that? And as I'm doing that, they can see me shaking like this, like Sanford's son. You know, this is the big one. I'm coming to see you, Elizabeth. And I went against the wall. They all, and then Patty's response in that is, I don't know what that was.
So great to listen to that shit. I have mine. I was outside at Hinsdale. We were out by the fire, and I put my flashlight up, and I see 2 eyeballs.
Oh, good Lord!
Right out
in the grass area.
Yeah, and I go, "What's that?" And I had a FLIR. So as I pull the FLIR up, as I was pulling up, it turned. So I never got to see it head on like this.
Oh Lord!
I saw it this way. And it was a big thing. And I was like, that's a fucking bear. And I stood up, right? And I'm like, I think it's a bear. There's other people that are like, no, it isn't. And I put my flashlight up like this again. I put the FLIR down. I put the flashlight up. And all I see is this. Like, it's
coming towards you?
That fucker's coming towards us. I was like, it's a bear. Because it's like a deer wouldn't come towards us, right?
No, he heard you. He was checking you out.
I pushed Megan out. I was like, she goes, they were like, where is it? Where is it? I was out.
They're fast too. I'm getting inside.
I quit 30 seconds. 30 seconds is as long as the audio is. 30 seconds. The equipment went flying. The FLIR, my recorders, my camera.
You didn't care. You're getting the hell out of Dodge.
Ran Megan over, pushed her out of it. I was like George Costanza when the fire happened inside the nursing home.
You were out of there.
Ran in the house. I was so scared.
They stayed out there?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Nothing ever came. They swear it was not a bear.
What?
They were like, as it got closer, it separated and it was wispy. And
like I said, a dog man or something?
I don't know. Whatever I saw. The second that thing, when I put the flashlight up the second time, it was like it went into my soul and came back out.
Yep.
And I was like,
do you ever have people that do like Bigfoot hunting, dog man?
I only went big. Yes, I've had them on my show.
I got a good friend that's in Cincinnati. His name's Jody Cook. He is the founder and president of Northman Dogman Project. He's been on Travel Channel been part of Finding Bigfoot. He's a really knowledgeable guy, military background.
Oh.
I'll ask him, you could see if you can get him on your show.
Absolutely.
His stories are phenomenal. He just got with me a while back about a sighting of Dogman not far from here. That's when I called an EVP at Quarry. I heard a female screaming as if she was falling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good Lord. I would freak out too if I heard that.
I've heard like disembodied psych screams.
Oh, yeah. Like being in some kind of place like
an asylum.
Psychiatric ward,
I've heard it at Pennhurst. I've heard it at Rolling Hills. Those are the 2 places I've heard it, actually.
Have you been to this? Is it Snow Hill Manor or something in Pennsylvania?
No.
Isn't that what it's called? What is it called? What's that manor called?
White Hill?
Could be.
White Hill Mansion? That's New Jersey.
New Jersey, that one.
Fieldsboro, New Jersey?
What is it?
Probably White Hill, because you said Snow Hill, so I'm thinking White Hill.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Jing, Indonesia. She's checking in from Indonesia. Give
Oh,
her
nice.
love.
Hello. Hi there. That is so cool.
She's awesome. I love her. She's
She
actually
was,
pretty famous in the land of Indonesia. Her
is
father,
she really?
yes, her father was an actor. She was an act, or no, musician. She was an actress. I don't know if her dad acted.
Haunted Hill View Manor.
Oh, nope, I haven't been there yet.
Isn't that close to Philly?
I'd have to look that up, but I have heard of it.
Oh, he just bought the Pennsylvania Bigfoot book. Those are fascinating. I'm intrigued by anything paranormal, cryptid, alien. I just get fascinated. I love hearing the
I am
stories. Like
too, which is
I'm
why.
watching the Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, I like all that
Is
stuff.
it good?
What's
Be
that?
honest. Is it good?
It is. You definitely want to watch it.
All right.
It'll draw you in. I'm only in season 1 still, so.
But does it show anything? There's like, do they show, or they're like, it's an active investigation?
Yeah, they're actually there. They're there for weeks and weeks
How do people
doing all
get
these
in there?
different types of experiments too. They think
What do
it's
you,
the radiation.
what credentials do you have to have in order for a place like that to go? Yeah, come on in.
Well, they're all professors. They're all scientists. The guy that owns Skinwalker Ranch bought it from the billionaire, and I can't remember his name. It's great. Love Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I see that.
It's just phenomenal because they thought the radiation is in the ground, but they're finding out that the radiation is above them. So it's like a pyramid sort of style.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like all the animal stuff. That's the only thing that bothers
Yeah, I
me.
don't like when they do things to the cows.
I don't like anything of any animal. So like that troubles me. Like for me, like if anything happens to a human, I'm like, okay, well, let's deal with it, right? When it's an
You're the one
animal,
that did it.
when it's an
The
animal, I'm
animal's an
like,
innocent thing, right?
so innocent. Like, why are you fucking with the
You know
animal?
what really kills me? And I know we got to eat. I love steaks. I love hamburger. I love ham and all that bacon.
I've given it all up.
You have, but when I go down the highway and I see the trucks going to the slaughterhouse, I'm like, nope.
That's what ruined it for me. That is what I saw it twice.
Because you see it all the time, and
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. So I called somebody and I said, why did I just see what I saw? And I
a truck
explained
full
it.
of pigs.
Oh, it's mortifying.
It is.
And I go, oh my God.
It's just life,
I'm
right?
never eating bacon ever again.
So you don't eat bacon?
I don't eat any pork. It traumatized me that much.
How about like cows?
So once in a while I'll have a cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't have too much meat. It literally makes my stomach hurt. I don't know what it is. Like, I've never been a big meat eater. I've never had an Italian hoagie. I've never had, up until recently, I've never had wings. You know what I mean? I've never been a big meat eater. So, so it's necessarily like the only things that I don't eat because of what I've seen would be veal and now pork.
Oh, okay.
The others are totally mental. Like emotional, like when I think about it, like I'll eat turkey, but if I think about what I'm eating, I can't eat it.
There's no way that I could be a farmer. If I
could be a dairy farmer.
I could do that. But if I knew I was raising pigs and
no, I can't do it. No, I would love all of them like they're my babies. Like I'd be like,
you would though, because
name them all.
They'd be like my big dog.
I know. And they are. You ever see them when they're little piglets? Like they're so cute.
I mean, I go to a lot of those types of farms, for doing their fire inspections. They still get inspected. And when the farmers call all their cows by name, and I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, this so-and-so. And I'm like, okay. But it's dairy farms. And I'm like,
dairy farms. I'm all about dairy farms. I could do a dairy farm.
What's Darren say? You both need to come to the museum. I do bookings we have Ed Gaines stuff. Oh, heck yeah.
So Malvern, so he was saying Malvern Manor.
Yeah, definitely.
That's on my bucket list. He knows that. He knows it's on my bucket list.
I would love to go there.
I would love to go there.
Everybody's been so great tonight. You
Yeah.
got great people that chime in.
Thank you.
I
Everybody
love
says
it.
that, and I love that. I love that everybody enjoys my people that watch, and they do. They all chime in. They say, "Hey," a zing. I mean, it's probably like 3 o'clock
That
in
is
the
so
morning.
cool. Yeah, because it's probably 5 or 6 hours ahead of us. So
Indonesia. I think it might even be. It may be later than that. I know
yeah.
at 8 o'clock she usually says it's like 1 or 2.
Oh wow.
So I don't know, but all right. So tell everybody,
Okay.
ParaVizionz, tell
Yeah.
everybody where to find you. What's going on?
Okay. You can find us on Facebook at ParaVizionz Paranormal Society. That's ParaVizionz. It's Z's instead of S's. You can find me, Lee Allen, my personal page. My wife, Patty Allen. My website is Wix, but you can just type in ParaVizionz Paranormal Society in Google or whatever your search engine is. You can find our website. I try to keep it up to date as much as possible. But with work and TAPS investigations coming in all the time, I mean, it's just overwhelming. We're going to be actually this Sunday night, we're going to be at a distillery doing an investigation for the owner.
Cool.
They close down at 9 o'clock. They have a display of shirts with their logo on there. And they sent me this video, and it's men's and women. It's like a rack. And they got the camera for this distillery, and something is just playing with the shirts, like just taking their hand and walking all the way around.
Will you go live?
Yes.
Cool.
I will go live. I will be on ParaVizionz. So yeah. She's on her way to work, so it's got to be like.
Oh, it is. It's probably like 7 or 8. Yeah, it's got to be early.
Wow,
love you so much. Thank you so much.
That is so cool.
She's a famous actress in Indonesia. Her father was a famous musician and actor as well. So she's a very prominent.
And she's really into the paranormal stuff.
She isn't. Nice. She experiences stuff, and I met her through Carl Johnson.
Okay.
And
great dude. Had him on the show. He freaked me out, but.
Yep, I met her through Carl, and me and her have become sisters from another mister over time, and she's always
across the pond.
Yeah. So I'm hoping she'll be able to come to the States soon so we can all meet her.
There you go. That'd be fun.
That'll be my first Paracon. Come meet a Jing.
There you go.
Everybody knows a Jing that. Everybody wants to meet a Jing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here's Taryn. I know.
Yeah. No, here's a Jing. It has been an absolute pleasure.
It has been great. It's so great to catch up.
Patty, if you're watching, thank you so much for letting him be on so long. I'm so sorry.
She's sound asleep.
She's not feeling well, and I hope.
We did a COVID test. It's not COVID. We have her doped up with. I got her to do melatonin, Afrin in the nose. She's just got a nasty cough and cold. Well,
I hope that she feels better. Please tell her if she's not well, she's sleeping. Please tell her I hope she feels better.
Yep.
And one of these days,
thank you, Darren.
Both of you have got to come on.
Yeah, we will. Oh, that'd be great. If she, well, I was trying to get her on tonight, but she got sick yesterday.
Well, obviously she doesn't feel good, but
we will come when you go. Let's plan a trip to Gettysburg this summer. It's about 6 hours for us to get there. It's no big deal.
Don't twist my arm.
Yeah. Don't twist my arm for a good time.
All right. Yes, we have to plan that. And
absolutely.
Everybody, please go check out ParaVizionz. Find Lee Allen on Facebook at ParaVizionz. You guys.
Thank you guys so much.
I'm so happy you came on, Lee. We always have good convo. We're like-minded people, so it's easy to talk. Thank you for sharing,
absolutely.
The more personal stuff. I know that's tough and it's hard, but I appreciate that so much.
But each time I do it, though, it helps. So.
Yeah. So I'm glad I can be that outlet for you.
Yeah, you are.
We've lost similar, but I know it's different, but it's still, a great loss. But it's for us where we are right now, right?
Yeah. And if you guys need any of my assistance, just reach out, guys.
Yes. And if you can't find them, just private message me and I will hook you guys up for sure.
Absolutely. So we will talk soon. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Good night. Go give that wifey a kiss and a hug for me, please.
Will do.
I'll see you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. Make sure you check us out next week. I know I have a couple shows coming up on some Sundays. May 14th, I'm going to have Kelly Page on. She's from MUFON. Looking really forward to that. I've been waiting to have somebody on that's a part of MUFON for a really long time. And Mike Ricksecker, love you if you see this. Thank you for referring her to me. So that'll be Sunday, the 14th. The 19th through the 21st, I'll be at Pennhurst Paracon working the event. So hopefully you guys can check that out. I'll go live when I can, but again, I'm working the event. So I will try my hardest to go live when we're doing the investigations at night and stuff like that. But I thought I had my book on me and I don't know where it's at. I'm losing audience, because, I was trying to see off the top of my head. I don't know who I have on next week. Next week I have, Roz and Michael on next week. I'm looking forward to that. I've never had them on, and I love Rosalind and Michael. They are just Lewis. I'm sorry, I didn't say the last name. They're the greatest. So make sure you guys come on next week. That's Wednesday. The 14th, Wednesday, I have Rosalind and Michael Lewis. And then this weekend coming up, I'm going to be at the Hoover House for the paranormal pajama party. And then Roz and Mike are coming on. And then I have a private filming happening in North Jersey on the 12th. And then I have Katie Page coming on the 14th. I kept saying Kelly. I apologize. Katie Page from MUFON coming on. I'm really excited about that. So please make sure you guys check in Wednesday and Sunday. And thank you all for joining in. Love you guys. And I'm going to sign off now. See yas.